Hey guys, James here again. This is going to be what if Luffy had two devil fruits. This is version 2, and this is what if Luffy had the Fuwa Fuwa no Mi. Now, basically, well, I'm just going to say one thing. I have monetization now, so, there will be a few ads. I'm trying to make it as fair as possible. I'm trying to more commonly do one at the beginning, one at the end, and I'm trying to make sure that they're most of the time skippable. So, I'm going to try to make the ads fair, because I know I hate ads, and my goal isn't money, so I'm trying to make it at least an enjoyable viewing experience for you. I also set up my own schedule. I'm gonna be recording whenever I want, but the videos I'll try to at least make two of them at least a day if I decide to record. Or sometimes 3, like this will be, and basically just it'll be one short one movie, and then probably another movie or another short part. It's kind of random for the third video, so this is gonna be a more random one, and I'll honestly cut it off when I decide that the video should end. So yeah. Just to fit in, like, one video will be within, like, the average time of viewing for YouTube viewers. Then, middle to be extended more amount of time than the last one. However, whatever I feel like. So, yeah. So, basically, Fuwa Fuwa no Mi. That's Shiki's fruit, the float fruit. Basically works on the user and non-living objects. Well, I would say, like, animals and humans, it doesn't work on them. Because it works on, like objects like trees and things, and trees are considered living objects by some people. So, it can work on anything except for humans and animals and insects, including arachnids. But yeah, yeah. The way that has happened, well, Shiki tried to break out of Impel down. Magellan killed him. Basically, Magellan tried to use Hydra, and it burned away decent on Shiki's body. He still escaped, but basically, he just died on his way out. He got Impel down, was sailing a decent ways away. After like 5 minutes out at sea alone, he just died. So yeah. This fruit, his boat was found, his fruit was on it, no one knew it was a devil fruit, they kind of kept it aboard. And eventually that fruit may make its way into Fuchsia. Basically, Shanks had watched Luffy eat the Gomu no Mi, got a bit upset about it. Then, like a month later, Luffy found said Fuwa Fuwa no Mi and ate it. He forgot what the devil fruit looked like, but just ate it. And Garp, actually, with Luffy escorting him to the forest, but Luffy just took this fruit and ate it. Just to make Garp stall him, and so Garp would have to pay for the food. But Garp already saw this devil fruit and was like, Luffy, what'd you just do? He says, I don't know, I ate another shitty fruit. He threw it on the ground, and Garp says, that was the second devil fruit, my grandson's gonna die, he's gonna die. Garp turned around screaming nervously, and eventually Makino was like, Garp, what's wrong? Garp tells Makino what you have about the person who eats 2 devil fruits, and eventually everyone heard this, and they'll be running around screaming in fear of just Luffy dying. Eventually Luffy hit the ground passing out, and eventually he had woken up, like 5 minutes later, saying, that was a good nap. Garp is like in the middle of digging a hole, saying, huh, you're alive, why? Makino's like, yeah, Garp, why is he alive? Garp says, this is the first time this has happened in history. Makino's like, wait, the first time in history? Garp's not saying, yeah, there's not one incident of 2 devil fruit users. Of a person with 2 devil fruits. Makino says, you know what that fruit was? Garp says, give me a second. He ran on his marine vessel, brought out the devil fruit encyclopedia, read through it, saying, what the fruit look like. He didn't look back as he just saw like the fruit on the ground. Luffy took a bite out of it, a huge one. He put together what the shape was and says, you didn't eat that fruit. I hope not. We've been looking for that fruit for months. And Makino says, what fruit is it? Garp says, that's the float fruit. To break it down, the float fruit is basically just telekinesis and anti-gravity put into one fruit. That's all it is. You picture Ochako from My Hero Academia, but then give her telekinesis at the same time. So, yeah. It doesn't work on humans or animals or insects or arachnids or any subspecies of living creatures. Living, moving creatures. So, yeah, well, there's a species of tree that moves, but, yeah. So, Luffy basically would try to experiment with the fruit as he tries to grab Garp. Garp's like, doesn't work on living things, Luffy. He says, This got it. He then grabbed Garp's shirt, and Garp nearly flew into the air. The guy Garp yells, put me down, you damn brat! As he just screams, trying to hold on to anything that hold him down to the ground. And he says, how do I get him down? He's thinking, like, drop. And Garp needs to hit the ground, face first. Garp says, that's a start. Luffy high-fives Makino, but make sure to try to focus on not lifting her up. Like, don't lift her up. And him and Makino high-five. Luffy then meets Ace and Sabo, but Luffy isn't focused on Ace at all. Garp tells him to focus on training his fruit, but try to make sure you don't fly off, as you can actually fly. Only thing that you can lift that's living is you. That's the only thing you can lift that's living is you. So Luffy then trying to lift himself, eventually learned how to glide, or kind of levitating, then gliding, then flying. So eventually he learned how to fly after like a week and a half of just training. And so one day in the Great Terminal, Ace and Sabo kind of fighting Bluejam's crew till they heard Luffy yell saying, "Get out of the damn way!" They moved, and Luffy crashed headfirst into Bluejam's chest, almost caving it in completely, which just only didn't cave it in completely, as Luffy's not that heavy. He has a decent amount of mass, but he's abnormally small for a 7-year-old. Luffy is exceptionally small for his age. Like the average height for 7-year-olds, like probably it's just between 3'6" and 4 feet. Luffy is it's like 3'2", and he's like halfway through the year. Like he grows excessively slow for his age. He's average if we're a few months early, but no, he's exceptionally small. So yeah. So Luffy gave him Bluejam's chest how big Bluejam actually is, but did break a majority of his ribs. Bluejam bleeding on the ground, coughing up blood, holding his chest, clutching it. He even says, "Hospital, now." Because you're like, "Hey, get Captain to the hospital, get Captain to the hospital." They run picking up Bluejam, rushing him onto the ship. Well, not on the ship, I mean, into the Gold Kingdom, as they're able to pay their way in. And Ace and Sabo are question, what the hell was that? Oh, I realized something. My phone told me to update it. I'm gonna update it after this video. So if you see that notification pop up, sorry. But yeah, because if I update it right now, my phone just resets and the video will end. But yeah. But yeah, so Ace and Sabo are questioning how Luffy was flying. He says, "Oh, that's my devil fruit ability." Sabo says, "Devil fruit? I've heard that term, but does it actually exist?" He says, "Oh yeah, he's also made rubber. I saw him do that once or twice." He goes, "Oh yeah, rubber and flight. Well, not just flight. He even tapped a giant pile of scrap metal over and over again, and multiple pieces of it flew in the air." He gets an idea saying, "Luffy, keep that stuff floating for a bit, or keep your ability waiting on it, but keep it low to the ground." He did as Ace said, and they waited for Bluejam shooting him come out of the Gold Kingdom. And when the gold come out, Ace said, "Fire!" And immediately the scrap metal got sent flying at the crew, stabbing a majority of them right in the stomach, the side, the legs, their bodies. They're just being completely impaled over and over again. None of them are dead, but Bluejam is covered in scrap metal in his back, saying, "Retreat to the hospital!" And they immediately pick up Bluejam and run to the hospital. The ones that aren't dying on the floor retreat to the hospital. Luffy, Ace, and a group high five, and it starts the friendship between the three, or the brotherly bond between the three. We experimenting Luffy's abilities a bit more on the other side of the island, which is not as much scrap metal, but a bit more normal like objects and things. You eventually do want to basically just Luffy when he would basically, I would say, well, we can probably just go on to him when he's, I guess Bluejam's crew when they're fully recovered, ready to throw hands again. But that's not gonna be another few months. Luffy broke all of Bluejam's ribs, impaled him more than 3 times, and the rest of his crew was also impaled dozens of times over, including the second strongest, Wingboard Chemi. The crew is going to take almost a whole year to recover. Sabo's dad already heard about how much bad condition they're in, so there's no way that he can hire them to grab Sabo back. He can only hire guards, but they're expensive, so he can't do that. Then the Great Terminal Fire. That's all left up to the guards, but there's not as much to do. And Sabo wouldn't know about it, but they'd see the guards planting like bombs and shit, so they can just remove the bombs or they'll fly them into the kingdom. So, literally, Luffy can just run around tapping everything and making it float into the kingdom. Is this what he can do? Or you tap one thing and make it fly around so quickly that the fire will just warp into a tornado and fire all of it straight at the ocean. The Great Terminal Fire would end it too quickly for it to be important. And then, well, Sabo's dad, the Celestial Dragon, would be displeased with the kingdom and call it a trash heap. But the nobles seem to have their shit together. So, it says basically every part of the kingdom except for the nobles and Fushia seem to basically be a giant trash heap. So, yeah. Half of Goa, most, and all of Fushia, those are the only things that actually work for the kingdom. But because Garp is from here, they'll let the kingdom keep existing and not give them any sort of warning. They need Garp on their side. So yeah, everyone who's aware of Garp knows he's a wild card, or anyone who cares about like the world government knows that Garp's their wild card. So one day he can be free before them, the next day he can hate Celestial Dragons down to his core. So yeah. So William's crew eventually is fully repaired, And they're back at full ability. They even have a few new weapons. But the thing is, it's been almost 2 years. Luffy's already 8 years old. Ace is 12. Sabo's 11. They're good. Or actually, no. Ace would be 11 and a half. Sabo would just be 11. Yeah. With this, Luffy just turned 8, and they're kind of hanging out celebrating his birthday in the bandits' hideout. But as they come out, go to the forest, just wants to have a bit of fun. Bluejam's crew would be ready for them with guns and knives, and guards are with them. Luffy just smirks, saying, "We've been prepping for your return." He immediately just shot his arms out at rapid speeds. That's something they thought of. He can control his rubber arms. He can do it on a pretty decent scale. And plus, Sabo can break into the kingdom and get them books and everything they need. So Luffy had to learn a bit about weather, momentum, mass, everything. So once we got a good grip on basically just how gravity and anti-gravity works, along with telekinesis from stories, that would suit his abilities, and just rubber. So we just tapped a ton of trees so fast that none of them saw what trees were tapping. We just shot the tree straight into the kingdom's guards and crew, and completely just crushed all of them. They're not dead, but they're not returning to do anything important for a long time. Like, Bluejam's legs are basically non-existent now. That's how hard he was hit by a tree. So now with this, Bluejam's whole crew is basically done for, and so are these guards. Well, not all of them, but a few of them are. Now, Sabo's dad's like, Sabo, you have one choice. Come back with me now, or I kill both these brats. Luffy says, "Come on, shoot me. I dare you." So his dad shot at Luffy, and it never mind in the face. Let's bounce off Luffy, hitting Sabo's dad right in the stomach. He hit the ground, clutching his stomach. He's not going to die, but he's bleeding out. So he ran to the kingdom, they bring him to the hospital, and he's healed. But still, he doesn't try to get Sabo back ever again. Then, 6 years later, Sabo became a revolutionary, Ace became a pirate, and Luffy is kind of just ruling the Great Terminal, and the forest, and Goa. Much Sabo makes Luffy read to control his abilities because they're so complicated that you can't just rely on normal training to actually learn how his abilities work. Like, Luffy relies on comic books to learn how to use his float fruit. So Luffy relies on comics, he relies on weather, he relies on a lot of things to use some of his abilities. If you learn about weather, you actually learn that he's basically immune to lightning. So he'd be a bit more cocky when him fighting Enel. And he'd be rightfully cocky. This man's a lot stronger than in canon. With both his abilities in tandem, he's not as strong as he is, I would say, maybe in Marineford. This Luffy can shoot out Conqueror's Hockey at random. So Luffy can compare to that little power without even knowing the word hockey. So, yeah. Plus, this one actually has a decent sense of just, hearing, sight, everything. He flies around constantly. He's also a really good navigator, almost as good as Nami is. He flies around on a regular flying, he flies to island. He's been all around the East Blue for fun. And he's met a majority of the Straw Hat crew besides Nami. So, he certainly doesn't have a pirate ship, so there's no way for him to gather them. He usually met them through random encounters just flying around. Well, actually, the one I don't think he'd meet would probably be Usopp. Because Usopp seems to be pretty boring, actually. And Nami travels around the East stealing, and Zoro is on an island full of swordsmen. So, Luffy probably hasn't met as Usopp. So Luffy's met every single Straw Hat in the East besides Usopp. Luffy's also been up Reverse Mountain, but hasn't finished it because it was simply just too high up and he couldn't breathe. So, yeah. He's also been to Loguetown for the hell of it. So, yeah. He knows Smoker and Tashigi. They also know he wants to be a pirate, but they can't really stop him from doing that. Now, when Luffy was at sail, he already knows where to go immediately, and he takes up to date on Zoro, on Nami, on the Baratie. He gets up to date on all of them. And Nami's last report happened to be going to Shelltown, so he's heading there first. Luffy's honestly on a flying dinghy. He's just chilling out on a flying dinghy. And eventually he looked down as he heard yelling, and they're pointing up saying, shoot him down, you might have valuables. Luffy immediately drove down to Alabasta ship, punching it clean in half. Then he jumped around Alabasta boat, kind of gathering just food, alcohol, anything. Eventually he pulled a rope out of his jacket, and tied it all together. Luffy wears a jacket full of basically anything like daggers, guns, not even guns, just bullets. Because he can fire them off at faster than a gun could fire them, so. His bullets that he carries have the potential of doing more damage than cannonballs do. It's just how much momentum he can send them with. So yeah, we kind of just like a red jacket instead of a red vest. Kind of the jacket you see right here, but he has a red t-shirt underneath instead of just a red vest. And I didn't have time to draw that. I was doing something all day. But yeah, Luffy basically just ended up, I think his crew's honestly just completely decimated by Luffy. So, yeah. He beat them all up individually, including Alvida. They found Kobe, and Luffy didn't fight Kobe once, and Kobe just is smiling at Alita's crew's defeat, but the god never says that they're sinking. Luffy immediately picked up Kobe, he grabbed his shirt, and made him levitate all the way up to the boat and let Kobe down safely. Luffy jumped up as high as he could, landing straight in the dinghy, and they say that they fly away, heading towards Shelltown. Luffy flew over Shelltown a bit, saw Zoro, and immediately just yelled for Zoro. Zoro yelling, and remember that familiar voice, but it seemed a bit older. He smirked as he held out his hand a bit. Luffy swooped by, grabbing Zoro, pulling him out of the ground. Zoro laughed, saying, "Luffy, what are you doing here?" He says, "Oh, well, I heard you were arrested, so I came to get you." "Where's Watto?" As Luffy looked at Zoro's hip, Zoro's like, "You think they'd arrest me and let me keep my swords?" He says, "Oh yeah, fair enough. Where are they?" Zoro points to the window, saying, "Throw me through there. I should be able to get it." Luffy picked up Zoro, throwing him straight through the window, and Zoro crashed through, grabbing his blades, then ran back out the window to jump on the dinghy, and just yelled, "Hey, these guys kind of suck. Can we beat them up?" He started jumping down, and landing on Commander Ripper, picking up his cutlass, and slashing down a marine in front of him. Luffy and Zoro, back to back, just defeat every marine in their path. Luffy also had a barrel of sake for him, so Zoro picked that up, chugged it all. Then, like Popeye with spinach, he basically just buffed up a bit, saying, "Ready for battle," and just slashed down any marine in his way. They didn't kill any of them besides Morgan, but Morgan isn't dead. They wouldn't kill any marine besides Morgan, but they don't kill anyone. Well, Luffy doesn't, but Zoro would. Zoro has. There's a bounty hunter, and he's killed Mr. Seven. So he'd kill. He has. Probably multiple times. Well, Nami's also killed someone, but that was filler. And so Luffy and Zoro basically beat everyone in their way, and Luffy actually told Zoro that he's ready to start a pirate crew now. Or Nod saying, "So, who are the other ones?" He says, Sanji is at the Bratier, and I don't think he wants to join, but when he sees that I have a flying ship, he might. So he says, "Yeah, fair enough." Here's the brat. He wants to Kobe. He says, "Oh, I was dropping him off here." Kobe said by Luffy going into the bar, and Rika brought out Zoro's rice balls as he just ate them. Impel is just honestly in pure shock that there's a flying dinghy above him. As he tried to pull a gun, the flying dinghy slams right into him, breaking the majority of his bones. Or it would, but he's a One Piece character, so he doesn't break his bones, but he's just knocked out. So yeah. The Marines get up, and they realize that they're not fatal, but they just hurt a lot. Luffy nods at them as he leaves, and Ripper realizes that Luffy was just being nice to them, but rude to Morgan and Helmpo. When just smirked, asking about Kobe, and he's like, "Oh, he was a captive. I just brought him here." Ripper realizing that Luffy just honestly saved Kobe. That's all he did. Kobe just nodded, and Ripper ended up tying up Morgan, putting him in a prison cell, and then, well, we also suggested you cut off his axe hand, and Ripper's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't think of that, cutting off the axe, like cutting off like basically just most of it, like, right at this point, it just has a stump, not even like a little bit of a stick in his hand, no, just a complete stump." So yeah. So Morgan has no way of escaping Garp, and he's just completely arrested. Luffy and Zoro fly over to the Bratier, so he can fly roughly at the speed of, I would say, I feel like speed of sound that might tear apart their dinghy. So they kind of like fly at a decent speed. They fly about as fast as most birds do. But they also enhance that speed, and then, well, they can just fly a bit faster. Like, both take them a day to get to an island. It takes them like 2 hours to get there now. That's how fast they fly. Bratier and Sanji would see their giant flying boat and said, "Not giant. So this is bigger. It's like a bigger fishing boat now." They found out at the docks of Shelltown. So yeah, someone gave them out the kindness of their heart. So yeah, Sanji would just say, "You didn't ask me to be a pirate." He says, "Yep. Plus I can fly." Sanji says, "Fair enough." Zeph then nods at Sanji, saying, "Come on, boy. What are you waiting for? Go." Also, hi, Luffy. Luffy bows to Zeph, saying hi. Zeph threw Luffy a giant barrel of sake and a giant barrel of food. Zoro taking sake and chugs it all, and then Luffy just has the barrel of meat and just eats some of it. Sanji hops on the boat with a bag of clothing, and they fly off. And he starts finding Nami, but he doesn't know where she is. So they kind of fly around the east for a bit till they find Summit Village, and they just saw a giant boat in the air and yelled, "There's a giant boat in the sky!" No one believed him until one of the guys looked up, saying, "Holy shit, there's a boat in the sky!" Nearly everyone looks up because the guy said so, and the boat just crash lands. He gets up, saying, "Alright, this should be a good place." Sanji leaves his head with the boat, just throwing up, saying, "Why'd you land so hard?" Zoro ends up basically just saying, "I spilled my sake." Because, did anyone here sell sake? When the barkeep put his hands up nervously, Luffy then threw out a giant bottle of cash at him, saying, I'll take a barrel." Bucky brought out a barrel shaking, and the barrel just chugged it, saying, "So you're forgiven." So yeah, Luffy realized that having a boat on land isn't good. Put his hand on the boat, and the boat began floating. So yeah, Luffy met Usopp, and he was like, "Oh, you're Usopp's kid, right?" So yeah, Usopp would nod, and then him and Usopp talk for a bit. Luffy talked about how he knew Usopp from 7 years ago at this point, I believe. Not 7, 10 years ago. Yeah. How did I figure that out? I'm dumb. But yeah, him and Usopp talk, and eventually, Luffy convinces Usopp to join his crew. Usopp's like, well, what are your abilities while flying? Luffy stretches his arm out halfway across the village, saying, "This." Garp's just watching this as he heard like the loud thud in the village. And Usopp snuck in just as Kuro had left, and told Kai, like, hey, I'm joining the pirate crew, the giant floating boat with those in the village. The guy who's leading the ship actually asked me to join. Kai is shocked, saying, "You're joining a magical pirate crew." So apparently it's not magic, it's devil fruits, and those aren't common or uncommon, but they're still pretty rare things. There's multiple users out at sea. There's thousands of them probably, which Kai is shocked by. But the tells Usopp to just follow the dream and actually make those lies come true. Usopp froze, saying, "You knew there were lies?" Kai not saying, "Yep, but you entertained me, and I'm happy for it." Mary's about me opened her door a bit and heard Usopp before he can go in and yell at him. He hears how Usopp has been cheering up Kaya. Who even heard Mary saw Mary peeking in, heard it, and before Kuro busts in, Mary pressed him into the wall, saying, "No, just listen." And Kaya basically gives a really heartfelt message to Usopp about how he always cheers her up, how he made her darkest days the best. Kuro got a bit annoyed as he doesn't know a lot of sickness is sadness induced, or just because she's so sad she didn't do a lot of things normally that made her sick. And Usopp's been healing her. Intentionally, but healing her. Suddenly he basically put on his claw glove, slashing Mary across the chest and running in to go kill Kaya. Usopp jumped through the window, tackling Kuro, and Kaya yelled for help. But Luffy had heard this and realized that Usopp was gone, and then ran at full speed towards Kaya's house as he jumped in through the window, picking up Zoro and Sanji basically kicked Kuro right in the face, full force. So then Kuro tried to attack everyone, but Luffy and Sanji are both able to keep speed with Kuro pretty easily. Well, Zoro just grabbed Kuro by the neck and threw him straight in the middle of the village. They see Kuro with a giant glove and blood on the tip of the glove. And then Luffy and Zoro both appear in front of him, then so did Sanji and Usopp. So Usopp had a slash on his side, but that's about it. Usopp put out his slingshot, nailing Kuro right in the face with a Tabasco star. And Kuro just yelled as his mouth shot fire in typical anime style, while his eyes were basically just completely beat red. But Luffy and his gang of just strats ran full speed ahead. Luffy ran, grabbing Kuro's glove as it began floating away. When Luffy shot the glove straight through Kuro's leg as he was yelling in pain. Luffy began tapping using anything around him, and using his Gomu no Mi to basically extend his reach. Then, as Kuro tried to escape using Shave, Bell crashed into him, breaking the majority of his bones. Sanji would basically do a spinning kick, nailing him right in the jaw, breaking it. Then Joji used only gear to cut off everything that was surrounding Kuro, and cut down Kuro. This Kuro's defeated. So, Kuro's last words are like, "My crew's gonna come here soon and kill everyone in this stupid town." Kaya walked out of her house, stumbling a bit, with Mary helping her walk as Mary recovered a bit. As it was on a whim, so Kuro missed anything vital in his body. He can walk and do everything completely fine. He was supposed to be sore for a few weeks. Mary says, "You deserve the death sentence. I'll make sure the village sees to your execution." So with this, Mary ties up Kuro, and Kuro's then actually burned at the stake, but no one watches, as they adored him, but he betrayed their trust. They don't want to see him die. Neither does Kaya, so Mary just kind of set the wood on fire and burns Kuro to a crisp. So yeah, like he was a witch. He was a witch, but he's an evil son of a bitch. So yeah. Now they're about to leave. These stops wouldn't have been treated, and now they jump on Luffy's dinghy or fishing boat, and they fly off through the air as Usopp just yells in joy. Now with this, we go on to them going down to find Nami as they say that at Orange Village for a bit, just to have Usopp been treated a bit, and Mary as well. Also, they want to give Luffy a bigger boat, whereas they give him the Going Merry. So yeah. But now let's catch up to around the day of Orangetown. As they fly through the sky, they basically found the boat of the Black Cat Pirates. So the time that Luffy would spend chasing, basically, was around the time that Luffy chased a bird all the way over to the Orangetown. Basically, the other strats would basically would go to Shelltown or Orangetown, while Luffy would chase the Black Cat Pirate ship. Luffy just flew down, honestly, and just punched clean through the ship by having his arm stretched out, and then it just kind of clotheslines the whole boat, splitting it in half. They did that over and over again at such fast speeds, and, well, he kind of just completely destroyed the ship. So, yeah. But she tried to fly through the air again, as the crew didn't even know what happened. They're all just pretty beaten up by some random guy who flies. Luffy flew through the ship at fast speeds, trying to make sure that the ship doesn't fall through the air, just because he doesn't really have a good reach on it. Shiki's had his route for longer, so he has better abilities and better control than Luffy. Luffy has like a distance, and Zoro and Sanji just all falling through the sky. Nami sees the falling ship and realizes this is probably Luffy's ship. Till Luffy swept down, grabbing the ship, and just saying, "Alright, I got it. And they're all just saying, where the hell did you go so far away?" And this, you guys may want to prepare for this. They're like, prepare for what? Till Luffy threw them straight to the building that Buggy was on. With that, the mast basically knocked out Buggy. This Buggy is basically just on the mast, flying, skipping across the ocean, as far away as he went in canon. So there's no fight between Buggy or anyone else. The whole crew is defeated. Luffy threw a boat at them. They're all hit by it. So Luffy got the ship, and then we'll kind of just make sure that a lot of the debris doesn't fall on them. He kind of taps it, and then taps the ship, and it's all just floating. Then the crew gets back up. Luffy sends debris at them, crushing them all. And the boat lands in the middle of Orangetown, and he says, "Oh, hey, Nami." With his hand out, as Nami immediately ran up it, everyone on the boat saying, "See, I have an actual pirate ship now." He went on saying, "Yep, the Going Merry." That's its co-founder, Usopp. Usopp just bows, saying, "Hi." And then Nami put out Sanji and Zoro, saying, "Moss Head must be Zoro, and Curly Brows must be Sanji." He nods. As Luffy calls them Moss Head and Curly Brows to Nami. And they refer to Nami as a cat burglar, and then they refer to Zoro as Moss Head, Sanji as Curly Brows. So, Luffy just describes them like that to basically everyone. And Usopp is just Long Nose. So, yeah. With their crew settled now, they don't have anywhere else to go besides maybe Kokoyashi to free Nami. It shows that Luffy's a good guy and a strong one at that. So, literally all he needs to do is drop the Going Merry on Arlong Park and everyone's dead. That's all it takes. So just because Luffy has such versatility and strong attacks, Arlong doesn't have a chance against Luffy. So yeah. So now with this, well, Nami tells Luffy about Arlong. He's like, "Oh yeah, you mentioned him before, but not another thing about this." But now Nami just tells Luffy, like, hey, your abilities could allow us to beat Arlong, so let's do that. If it was Kokoyashi, Nami put out her staffs, and Luffy just makes them all float. Helped him up on one of the staffs and just flew straight towards Arlong Park with the ship behind him. Arlong was up seeing the ship, and then saw Nami on the ship. But then, before Arlong can even dodge, Luffy made one of the staffs go flying forward at max speed, knowing Arlong right in the tip of his nose. Completely just having bones pop out of his face, not out of his nose, and popping his nose basically just completely compressed and nail him right through the face, really shattering his skull. This just knocked Arlong into a coma. Luffy had all the other staffs basically fly around, taking down the majority of Arlong's crew besides Chu, Hachi, and Kurubi. Honey would land, being fighting Kurubi. Zoro fights Hachi, but Zoro was not injured, and then, then Usopp would fight against Chu, but him and Nami both fight against Chu. And the villagers of Kokoyashi had saw the giant ship and thought it was Arlong, but they realized that this crew beat Arlong and Nami's with them. So yeah. Luffy isn't doing anything really, standing over Arlong's defeated body. Then Luffy just explored Arlong Park, taking any bit of money they had, gold, like any bit of money, solid gold, food, sake, water. Yeah, by the time he's done, he has like a giant rope around all of it. Luffy has like a giant rope in his waist, around his waist. It's just really handy for him with the devil fruit, so, yeah. But eventually he can wrap his arm around most of the fishmen and throwing them so far that they all hit the water, that a lot of their skin will just peel completely off. So, yeah. All of them defeated, Arlong just sinks as Luffy doesn't know he's in a coma. Arlong just drowns, even though he's a fisherman. Everyone else just escapes, so, yeah. But everyone else escaping, well, villagers do ask who Luffy is to everyone else. He's like, "Nami, who are these pirates?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is my friend Luffy. I met him out at sea one time before he's a pirate. Me and him are pretty good. He's a good guy. He's not a traditional pirate." And this piece right there told Nami describes what Luffy does, and he thinks that's being a pirate. You can kind of chuckle, but kind of mumbling. He seems like a superhero than a pirate. And that's what Nami says. That's exactly what he is. He's a superhero more than a pirate. He'll say, "No, I'm a pirate more than a hero. Gold, money, sake. That's what I want." Nami says, "No, replace gold with meat, and that's what you want." Luffy's like, money, sake, meat. Yep, seems accurate. And Zoro smacked his head, calling him an idiot. But yeah. Now this again declares a 3-day party. They eat. Luffy kind of floats all of Arlong Park into the air and destroys a majority of it. When he separates all the rubble, making it basically just a very... It takes him like a day to do so, but he basically makes it like a whole new structure. And basically, you see that now makes it Straw Hat Park. So yeah. He says, perfect. And with that, well, this is now the base of the Straw Hats. Because he flew the ship through a building and now landed in the middle of Arlong Park, the ship's not in good condition somehow that fast. So there's a few shipwrights who kind of stay behind and patch up their ship. The ship's now back in average condition, and they decide to sail to Loguetown. You get there, they meet Buggy and Alvida, but they can't land a hit on Luffy. No, Alvida tried. Luffy just dodged, tapping her clothing, and she immediately got sent flying straight into the sky. Says, well, I may not be able to hit you, but the ground can do whatever it wants to you. As Alvida slammed like face first into the pavement, not dead, but she's unconscious. And Luffy did the same thing to Buggy, and Buggy couldn't react fast enough to dodge this. Buggy was knocked out, but he's kind of like wobbling. So Luffy just yelled, "Gomu Gomu, no pistol," letting Buggy right in the gut, sending him flying all across Loguetown. Smoker had seen people flying and realized this was probably Luffy. They're seeing 2 pirates defeated, and Luffy just walks away. These 2 pirates had bounties relatively high for the East Blue, so he's determined that's how strong Luffy is. He even attacked Luffy, but Luffy grabbed his jacket and shot him through the air. Like, I think the jacket, probably like the strap he has around his vest, but like I'm pretty sure he had cigars on it. Luffy grabbed Smoker's just the strap, and then Smoker like damn you, Luffy. And Luffy just swapped his hand in a certain direction. Smoker sent flying through buildings. So yeah. Now the time Smoker's back up, Luffy sent him flying through buildings to the point where he's knocked out for days on end. He's been out for 3 days by the time he wakes up. Ashigi had fought Zoro over what Luffy did to Smoker, but he beat her without even hitting her. He honestly this was dodged all the strike and just tired her out. So he was off to beat that match in the same way he did in canon, but they leave. So yeah. As far as leaves, Smoker recovers after a few days. Notice that Luffy had ways of fighting Logias that most people could not do. Luffy's just simply that easy, that hard to beat. Luffy is a pretty creative guy. So yeah. If he can't touch you, he'll touch your clothing, and then you're defeated that way. Unless you're able to remove your clothes extremely fast. So yeah. Yeah. Now with this, Luffy tries to leave, and Luffy had officially beaten Smoker, and Dragon didn't need to intervene. He also beat Buggy and Alvida. So yeah. So Smoker would give Luffy the credit of beating Buggy and Alvida, but then also give him the credit of, first beating Buggy and Alvida, and then beating him, then Zoro beating Sashigi, then them escaping the Marines. We stopped beating Daddy Mashton before that. Like, they basically got a lot of credit for everything. So yeah. So basically, they're very impressive to Smoker and all them. Smoker would still follow them. And other than this, I don't see anything else being much different. Like, Luffy and Zoro still clash a bit, but then they fight Mr. 5 and Miss Valentine. They beat them. And then, we go on now to probably just Little Garden. I don't see that being different either. What else? Drum Island, the only difference is that Luffy doesn't spend so much time trying to get to the top of the Drum Rockies. He usually picks up Nami and Sanji and flies. Sanji jumps on his back and he kills Nami, and Luffy just flies straight to the top of it without any fighting happening. They shorten most of their trip by that much. Like, the only thing is that they have to wait for hours for Doctor and Chopper to arrive. But basically, the whole castle is cleared out of snow. The birds were moved, so the doors are able to be shut. The whole place is warm. They're completely fine. So yeah. But when the Doctor and Chopper arrive, they're like, "Oh, where are the birds? The door's shut." They look up. The birds are in a safe spot. This couldn't have been Wapple who's here. It's someone who needed medical treatment. So yeah. You go in. The place is completely warm. There's a good smell of food. And, because Luffy had time, and Sanji had nothing else to do for a while, Luffy went down and pretended to talk to Dalton about who Doctor and Chopper were. Chopper's an animal who ate a fruit that made him seem more human. So Luffy knew about Chopper, so he told Sanji to make a meal fit for Chopper. So Doctor and Chopper walk in, there's hot food, right from they eat, then they talk about Nami. And Doctor's like, "Well, we want something firm from you, but this food's delicious, it's delectable. So, this can be your payment." Then they treat Nami. And because Luffy had heard Chopper's whole story from Dalton, because he had time, Well, Luffy just talked to Chopper about basically like how his life was and how chaotic it was. And kind of what he did. Even Sanji didn't know this. No one knew it besides now Chopper and Sanji. And Dr. Un, I guess. But when Chopper heard all that, kind of thought it was pretty funny, calling Luffy like a magic man who can fly. He says he can also stretch as he wrapped his whole arm around the castle. Instead, if he squeezes hard enough, he can completely destroy it, but he won't. So yeah. So now with this, Chopper basically just Luffy and him become friends. Luffy even told Chopper to join the crew, and that Chopper isn't a freak. Just told him about that, saying Chopper's like probably one of the coolest guys he's ever met. And Luffy talks to Chopper like he's a human, which Chopper does appreciate. So yeah, Luffy and Chopper are able to go along pretty well. Chopper is already established to wanting to join the crew, and then Walpole does eventually arrive. But when he arrived, Luffy already prepped Chopper for a fight with Walpole. Because Chopper's gonna be fighting, and Luffy had prepped Chopper. I'm gonna add in Mushuru just for the sake of it. So yeah. So Luffy and Chopper would fight. Luffy fights against Mushuru, Chopper against Walpole, Sanji against Chess and Kuromarimo. But because Nami is already in better shape, she would kind of like find a pistol in the castle and just shoot Kuromarimo right in the head from the castle window, telling him that he's basically just Sanji can beat him, but he's more trouble than he's worth. So now Nami should have shot him right in the face. So yeah, Sanji easily beat Chess, and because Chopper already prepped for the abilities, Luffy already thought a way to beat Walpole. Chopper took a few of Luffy's tips on how Luffy would fight him and actually beat Walpole. But when Luffy came to Mushuru, Luffy actually able to somewhat. Well, we can't stop the mushrooms. The mushrooms are well. You can check this real quick. Well, Luffy can touch the mushroom, make them fly, but the mushrooms don't really have any mass to them. At the best, they'll like hit you like a paintball. That's about it. So Luffy was losing. These won't do much damage to someone like Mushuru. He decides to use his Gomu no Mi, and basically just lets out Gomu no pistol, Gomu no whip, Gomu no battle axe, and these three attacks take out Mushuru pretty simply because Luffy can fly and avoid all the attacks like they're nothing. So yeah. So with Mushuru defeated, Luffy just laughs at him, and then he leaves. Not he leaves. He kind of just going on bazookas, Mushuru and Walpole straight across the East Blue. Not across the East Blue, across Paradise, into the West Blue. So yeah. Now with this, we can probably go on to, I would say, like, just, probably into just them leaving with Chopper. Then Alabasta is much different in terms of anything else besides combat. Luffy still stopped by Crocodile, but figured out a way to beat him. So, yeah. Because Crocodile was pretty hard to touch in general, as in Crocodile was a much better user of a Logia than Crocodile, than Smoker was. So it'd be a lot more challenging, so he kind of just developed a way to beat him. But still, Crocodile can barely impale Luffy, as he impaled Luffy on a spot that wouldn't require as much medical treatment. Luffy just stabbed him through the hand, it kind of got him the hook and just snapped the hook off. So Luffy just hid the hook, realizing it was poisoned too. So he's looking for him to bust out the poison part of the hook. So he hid the hook in his jacket. So Luffy's hand is stitched up, his hand's back to normal, but there's a giant scar on it now. I was just curious about one thing. I just want to mention this. Luffy and Zoro still fought Mihawk. They had a lot of time off their adventure, and Luffy just flew around while people repaired the Mary. And because Zoro heard that Mihawk was in the east, well, Luffy and Zoro went to find Mihawk. And because they went to find Mihawk, they found Krieg's crew. They beat them pretty easily. And Zoro basically Luffy and Zoro beat Krieg's whole crew in a second. It didn't take long. Luffy made their ship fly, then sank it. Gin's living at the Brattier, learning how to cook. So, yeah, Gin doesn't know about his crew. He just assumes that Mihawk killed them all. Luffy just sank all their ships, and the majority of them died, but still. Then Zoro fought Mihawk in the meantime. Zoro got medical treatment, so it wasn't really too important to go over. Zoro fought Mihawk and went the exact same way as in canon. That's it. But yeah, that's about it. But back to Alabasta. Said something that should have happened like 20 minutes ago. But yeah. So now Luffy basically would go on and now he wants a rematch with Crocodile. But first we go to Zoro versus Mr. One. Zoro did fighting someone like Luffy who always just wants to find a new way to improve on his teleport abilities and his basically range with them. And his effects, well, he always trains a lot of his fruits, so Zoro is able to move a lot faster, and actually has a better perception of time. So Mr. One can barely even land a hit on Zoro, and barely can get near him. So Zoro pick him down without getting hit once. Nami has the same effects as Zoro does, so Mr. One can barely land a hit on her, and Nami can be the only one to hit her. All stars usually win their fights without getting hit once, besides Sanji and Usopp. So yeah, well, and Chopper. If literally Sanji and Zoro win the not Sanji, Luffy, Zoro and Nami win their fights without getting hit. Sanji barely got hit once, but still was a pretty hard fight. And then Usopp was able to beat Mr. 4, but it was a pretty he got hit a lot, but didn't have the full body cast. And Chopper, well, he got hit very few times, but still got nailed once or twice. But now Luffy was Crocodile. Luffy realized Crocodile's weakness was water after a bit, so he took off the golden sheath of the hook, made the hook fly. Well, first made the hook fly, then took off the golden sheath. Then the hook made Crocodile full speed. Crocodile can't dodge this as it impales him right in his shoulder. He realizes that the hook's poison that's dripping on it is liquid. So this can stab him, and it'll stab him straight through his shoulder, hooking him to a wall. Luffy some more rubble at him. This rubble's kind of covered in basically water, and all comes to Crocodile's body over and over again, basically just breaking a majority of his bones. When Luffy just, spits a bit more water in his fist, and thunder under Crocodile's chest, knocking him out. Luffy didn't get hit once in this fight. So Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, Zoro, Nami barely got hit. Or they didn't get hit at all, actually. Sanji got hit a little bit less. And Robin realizes how much Luffy preps as his battle IQ in this one's insanely high. This is why he trains his fruit on its range, on its effects, because Sabo made him train this hard. Well, Luffy has a lot better battle IQ. His basic intelligence is a bit increased, but a little. His battle IQ, on the other hand, basically through the roof. Like it would take decades of studying like this to actually have Luffy have this high battle IQ. Because it was always necessary for his fruit to improve, he did it a lot more often than most people did. If you were to put raw IQ, his raw IQ is much different. Battle IQ, he's one of the highest ever in the East Blue. Like in order from highest to lowest, high tier, Ben Beckman. Second in place, Luffy. This is how high it is. Even if one includes Sabo and Ace, Luffy is still number 2. Simple as that. Now, if one includes Shanks, Luffy is somewhat not Ben Beckman's probably still higher, but Luffy is like number 3. If Garp was included, number 4. So like you, it was a bit about like you still top 5, and that's including probably some of the strongest pirates to ever enter the East. So yeah. Now with this, we go on to just next arc being Jaya, but Robin had joined the Straw Hats. And here, Luffy's bounty currently is a lot higher as he beat Crocodile without getting hit once, and Smoker saw how little Luffy was hit. But before, everything is the same until it came to fights. So yeah. Plus, Luffy has 2 double fruits, so he has a lot higher bounty. His bounty after Alabasta, first, after he leaves the East, it's already 60 million. His first bounty is 60 million, just because he had 2 double fruits, and he knew how to use them both. Perfect. Then Whiskey Peak, no much change there. Then Little Garden, no change there. Drum Island, no change there. Alabasta, huge change. 180 million, because he beat Crocodile's first fight with him, more ended in a draw than anything else. In the second fight, Luffy hit him over and over again, and Crocodile couldn't land a single hit. Then Garp took into account Luffy's battle IQ and how well he just trained his battle IQ as a kid. Garp's like, if any Marine would fight him, they're probably not going to escape the fight unscathed. Even if it's an admiral, I trust that Luffy's going to find a way for them to be hurt. And Garp's not wrong. Luffy can hurt an admiral in his own way. That's just like, okay, you need to dodge it to hit. Bam, grab his shirt, send him flying through the air at Mach speeds. That's all it takes. So, yeah. Akinu can probably still dodge that, I'd say. So, yeah. Akinu has better observation hockey. But, yeah. But still, Garp took into account Luffy's battle IQ, Sengoku had heard about it, and how much Luffy trains with battle IQ. Luffy's bounty is a lot higher at 180 million. So, by the time he got to Jaya, everyone heard about Luffy's bounty. Even Luffy is a bit more imposing. So, and Nami also didn't tell him to start trouble. She knows he's a bit better than that. If he were to start trouble, he knows a way out of it relatively quickly. But yeah. Bellamy just started to beat Luffy to the table, but Luffy just grabbed Bellamy's shirt and kind of just held him to the ceiling. So Bellamy couldn't get off the ceiling the whole time. Like, let me down here, Mugiwara. Even if he spring hop off the building, off the ceiling, Luffy just holds him like, oh, spring hop, lower him. Oh, you disabled the spring hop, put him back up. Yeah, but eventually Luffy got sick of him and flung him through like 3 buildings. And Bellamy just down for the count. Then the moment that his crew tried to intervene, Luffy slammed Bellamy into his own crew members, saying, "This is my spring hopper." And Bell needs defeated his whole crew because Luffy made him defeat them all. So yeah. Then Luffy meets Teach. Him and Teach have like Luffy's like, well, you like this food? Well, we like the pie. I hate it. I like the beer. You hate it. Contest. I eat as much pie as possible. You drink as much beer as you can. Well, we'll equivalent two cups of beer to one pie, or you know, this seems unfair. The pie just got awful, and the beer gets you drunk. So, one pie equals one thing of beer. So yeah, well, basically both just eat, and Luffy got down 30 pies. Teach got down 30 beers. Luffy says he refuses to eat more than this, and Teach says this trash is too bad. He won't drink any more of it. Luffy just laughs, calling Teach a loser. Teach calls Luffy a loser. Then him and Luffy leave. And Zoro's just chilling in the bar, watching this go down. And Zoro's just downing beers left and right, as Zoro had down 90 beers in the span that Teach had only down 30. So yeah. The bartender doesn't ask about the pay, as Luffy made sure to get the pirates out of his bar, so he's not going to do anything against it. But yeah, so the bartender just thanked Luffy, doesn't charge a fee. He does charge Teach for his 30 beers though. We then Teach saw Luffy's bounty, about 180 million, and now wanted to claim it. But the moment that Luffy saw Teach wanted to claim it, Luffy lifted up a few bullets, telling Teach to dodge. And how fast they were going, well, Augur could barely shoot any one of the bullets out of the sky, leaving Teach being riddled with bullets. Not dead, but he's just full of them. And so was his crew, as Luffy just smirked, saying, if you want to claim my bounty, you're going to have to be a lot stronger than that. A hell of a lot stronger. Currently, I could kill you myself, but my brother wants you, so I'll let him kill you. As they just fly to Skypiea. Luffy let them fly up into the sky. So, yeah. When Teach heard what Luffy said, he realized that Luffy wasn't lying. He could easily kill Blackbeard's whole crew, but that's Ace's job, and Ace wants to do it, so he'll let them live. But currently, Teach is pretty badly wounded. He's full of bullet holes. So, yeah. As they're flying, Luffy grabbed a news coup, tied a note to it, and the news coup flew off. And this news coup was going to go and find Ace. Ace got a letter. Luffy told Ace what he did to Blackbeard. Blackbeard's pretty injured, but he's not dead, so this should make it easier for Ace. And Ace ended up basically giving the letter to, tying his own letter to the news coup. The news coup flies both letters to Whitebeard, and Whitebeard ends up reading this just laughing. He laughs so hard that he almost cries. Crew's asking what's so funny. He gives them the letters, and they read it, and they all just have a big laugh. So some nobody pirate, that's Ace's brother, from the east, almost killed Teach, who's been a strong pirate for over 20 years. This kid is something special. They all know it. Plus, he's helping their crew, and he knows it. This one, Blackbeard just yells announcing that Straw Hat Luffy is an ally of the Whitebeard pirates. Then tried to note to the news queue. The news queue started playing messenger, but eventually he flew this note all the way to Garp, as he doesn't know Luffy's name is Monkey D. Luffy. Ace told him. And the note went directly to Garp. Garp was a little bit confused, and he sees the top of it signed Whitebeard. And it was Luffy's bounty poster with a note at the bottom saying, Monkey D. Luffy is now an ally of the Whitebeard pirates. And Garp had that whole cringe face that the Robin and all the other shots had in Wano about Luffy being captured. Sengoku, Bogard, all of them read the note, and they immediately just cringe as well. And Sengoku says, Garp, we have to publish this immediately. And this also calls for a bounty raise. Garp says, it definitely does. God save this boy from my wrath. Garp and they walked around, punching walls left and right, completely strong Marineford out of just pure spite for Luffy. Now Luffy's bounty raise. So Luffy's bounty raise after basically just the declaration, and the news basically says, Monkey D. Luffy, you supernova, now allied with the Whitebeard pirates. And every single supernova read that letter, and they're really shocked. Even Crocodile and Impel down level 6 was like, that little shit. So yeah. Luffy's new bounty is 210 million after that. So, yeah. 20 million. Pretty sure that's 30 million. Forgot this one. So yeah, so now with this, Skypiea, well, Luffy kind of just flies around over the White Sea, catching like random animals in it. Like, wow, this stuff's fun. And he just kind of eats any animal that he could eat raw. But when she talk about it now, he's like, oh, well, I'm immune to lightning. Immediately, everyone's like, what do you mean you're immune to lightning? Nami thought for a second, saying, oh yeah, rubber doesn't, you're not immune, but it would take a lot of lightning to even burn you a little bit. If you're not saying, yeah, no, not immune, I guess. So yeah, you're right. He says this is like a pinky in his nose, like Garp usually does. But then he says, "If you want, if you want me to right now, I will go beat up an L willingly." Then Kapagia and Kones freeze. Like, but you said it so casually and not be struck down. He says, "Okay, give me a second." He throws his arm out the window at such fast speed and punch a lightning bolt out of the sky, saying, "I should leave." He walks outside, telling Nell, "Come on, hit me with the best shot." Well, first, let me do this. He puts a straw hat down next to him, and Nell sends a lightning bolt at Luffy. Luffy let it hit him, and Luffy isn't killed at all. And says, "See, my point." And he puts his hat back on, saying, "All right, well, he burned my favorite shirt, so I'm gonna go kick his ass." The straw hat say, "We're bored. We'll go with you." Another lightning bolt shot at them, and Luffy punched out of the sky, saying, "Wait your turn." And he immediately flew into the kingdom with the Straw Hats all by his side. They're kind of all being carried by him. They flew high enough, throwing them straight into the forest, and they all just yell in excitement, besides Robin and Chopper, who are just screaming in. Well, Robin and Chopper, well, not Robin and Chopper, Robin, Zoro, and Sanji aren't screaming at all. The coward trio is screaming in fear, so, half of them are screaming, half of them aren't. Luffy's just laughing in joy. We fly straight towards Nell as fast as he can, with anyone in his way being basically sucker punched at Mach speeds. So yeah, Luffy's aware of mass and momentum altogether, so this helps him a lot. His Gumino pistols as he flies this fast are about as strong as Gear 3rd punches. This is how strong they are. So yeah, eventually he found Nell, and Nell's actually like nervous to fight Luffy. Luffy's able to punch lightning bolts out of the sky, so Luffy can probably hit him. He put that together that quick. So he already called this fight a losing fight in his way, but Luffy may be stupid, so he hopes that he can beat Luffy. Luffy and him fight, and Luffy's able to avoid all the Nell strikes as Luffy just glides through the air, and even like you know how Omni-Man or Homelander don't like, well, Homelander does usually walk, but Omni-Man kind of like glides like an inch off the ground, and Luffy just does that. Let's running around hitting Nell in the face and the jaw, just nailing Nell repeatedly over and over again. Every time he's done, and Nell's just unconscious. Luffy grabbed Nell's Nell by just his pant leg, threw him in the air, and then shot him straight into space. And he landed straight in the moon, making a giant crater. Because just logic. So yeah. As soon as Nell hit the moon, he just has a giant crater where he is, and then Nell's almost dead, just from how hard he hit the moon. So yeah. So then Nell's realizes he's on the moon, but every single bone in his body is broken. Automata's healing Nell, and then Nell just does his own thing. When Luffy looked at everyone else around him and just punched them all into the dirt. Or into the earth. Jill starts to reunite where Luffy is, and they see the amount of just defeated people by him, as Luffy just has a giant piece of meat in his mouth. So yeah. As Luffy did all this, and he just nods, saying, "Yeah, pretty easy." He holds up the giant golden paddle, and then points like the maximum, saying, "Should we take that thing?" And this currently Luffy's a few days early for his adventure, so they have a decent amount of time with them. They say, "Sure, why not?" They find a giant rope. They end up tying the Maxim to the Sunny, or Sunny, I mean to the Mary. Then when they're about to leave, they kind of just drop down, straight off the map, or just off Skypiea, and they just yell goodbye as they explain to what that wasn't a cannon; it was basically just a giant pillar of gold. And also, the Maxim is like the same, like bigger than the Sunny, even. So, yeah. But they land. And, well, they kind of just fly straight towards Water 7. They don't need to be dropped down out of the sky, so, yeah. Because also a lot of travel does involve flying or gliding a bit above the water. So, man. This is honestly how they get through comm belts. They literally just fly through comm belts. Or if they want dinner, they fly straight into the head of the Sea King, killing it, and they eat the Sea King for dinner. So, yeah. Now, as they get to Water 7, Frankie just saw them, like, just flying, and is like, How do they fly? I want the ship. When he got near, he realized that Luffy wasn't making it fly, and Luffy seems to be a relatively strong guy. So, yeah. He's turning the giant pillar of gold after he gets melted down for a bit. It took him like a day or two to smelt down on the giant pillar. Ezra was on the boat, just beating anyone in his way. And because Luffy told Usopp not to worry, he'll do it himself, as Luffy had nothing else to do, the pillar kind of flies above his head. Then, if anyone finds someone to smelt down the pillar's made in giant gold bars. And how big the pillar was compared to the Straw Hat crew and the villagers carrying it, and the Sunny, the Mary, This is roughly over 100 billion berries worth of gold. So yeah, kind of get the gold's put on the ship, and then the berries actually they can talk about like yeah, this ship's a bit bad condition. We can some of it is beyond repair, so we're going to still get a new ship. Like it's still decent, but some of it's irreparable. Unless we spend a lot of time rebuilding it. One option is spend like months here rebuilding it, or just get a whole new ship. Frankie has seen how he's been spying on them a bit, wanting to steal all their gold, as he heard how much it was too. First he was spying on Luffy, then on the gold, then heard their conversation about their ship and how much they cared for it. With Luffy, you have to fight Usopp. Well, as soon as Luffy had to tell Usopp to leave the crew, Frankie was the one that punched Luffy halfway across his ship. Iceberg looks at Frankie saying, "What the hell are you doing here, Frankie?" Frankie says, "Damn it, do you not see the value? See the value in your crewmate? And do you idiots not see the value in that giant hunk of gold over there?" And then ends up pointing the Maximum, saying, "You know what? That thing's huge. Looks like a weird kind of wood. And this ship has a strong spirit. So now this Iceberg. Let's partner up. Let's partner up again." We really confused everyone. What used to be a partner of Iceberg? And Iceberg's like, "You're not telling me you have an idea." Frankie says, "I have a large shipment of wood hidden away, and that thing over there is going to be in good condition and recently built. And this thing has a lot of good parts left." As he taps on the wood to the Mary, saying, "Dismantle the Mary, dismantle the Maxim, and rebuild it all using materials in tandem along with atom wood." So yeah, I can imagine the trees on the Earth were warped because of just what were in them. So yeah, pause. Just the air and the way they have to maintain the trees up there. I'm pretty sure they're a bit warped, or it's a bit more durable than usual. So Frankie would basically a lot of Frankie family. They all would help rebuild the ship in much different ways. But eventually, the Sunny's a lot bigger than usual. It's massive. Plus, there's just 2 giant oars. Here's that Luffy kind of had coated in like a very, very similar wooden texture, even though they're made of pure gold. But Frankie's like, you don't pay me 1 billion berries. Luffy says, "Yeah, sure, why not? Throw him 1 billion berries." Frankie thought it'd be a lot harder to get 1 billion berries that way. He says, "Hey guys, we're set for life." So yeah, roughly $7 million. So yeah, Frankie's like, "Guys, we're set for life. We're ready." And, well, because Skypiea wasn't a hard fight, and they're here early, well, they have nothing else to do for a bit. But eventually, well, TB9 does still take Robin, but Luffy says he'll get her back himself. The Sriracha's like, "No, we're going with you either way." Luffy just smirks, saying, "Well, let's test out our new battleship." So Luffy just kind of flies straight towards basically Water 7, Enies Lobby, and there's a giant cannon that Frankie installed on it without anyone else knowing. They didn't have time to capture Frankie, only Robin, but still. We grid the cannon, saying, the sea train, they're using the sea train. I'll make sure to blow away a majority of any of these buildings before they can get there. Fly ahead, and we'll be letting out cannon fire all across Enies Lobby, completely destroying buildings, people, everything. But Phantom saw what they're doing, what did CP9 get themselves into with a pirate ship like that? When it happened, the whole building's basically completely turned to ash. Phantom isn't dead, but he's almost dead. As CP9 arrived at Enies Lobby, they vaguely heard explosions, but they didn't know what was going on there. When they arrived, seeing Luffy at the train station, saying, why don't you hand over my archaeologist? And it seems like he's the only one there. But immediately, Luffy putting his finger to Robin's neck, saying, I can just claw her throat wide open. Only for him to get kicked on the jaw by Sanji, using Bluejam, telling him, back the hell away from Robin. That Luffy at the ground, jaw not unconscious, but he's shaking. Kaku tried to rush Sanji, only be cut across the back by Zoro, and he doesn't have a devil fruit yet, so then Coffee doesn't either. So, and not only that, that's just thunder tempo, hitting her right in the chest with it. And then Sanji walked in the train and defeated basically every other CP9 agent in his way. Or not CP9, but CP Cypherpole agent in his way. So then, CP1 through 8. CP9 is secret, CP0 isn't any other agency. But yeah. They come out, Luffy is completely Frankie, well, not they, or Frankie. Suddenly came out and sees Luffy just already beaten to a pulp by Luffy. Frankie had beaten Fukuro pretty easily. They kind of all beat their opponents pretty easily, because Fukuro was in the tower with Spandam. So was Jabra. Jabra was defeated. Like, Fukuro was the only one that came out of the tower unscathed. And, not unscathed, but came out of the tower okay. And then Tim Kumidori, but Chopper beat him. So, yeah. Now with this Luffy then says, alright then, let's go. They leave, and Luffy then had another idea. He tapped a button on the cannon, and vaporized one island of Enies Lobby. And he says, okay, well, there's a lot of dead people now. Let's not think about that, and let's leave. So yeah. They head back to Water 7, and then they fly away. They flew back to say thank you, then they just fly away now. They fly through the Foreign Triangle, blowing away a lot. Like we see a lot of the mist in the Foreign Triangle with how fast they're flying. But then they see a pirate ship. They see Brook. They let Brook aboard. They talk about what Moria did to them. But like, you know, hey, I'm honestly just trying to get Stab Odie a lot faster. So I have an idea. Giant cannon completely just vaporize a majority of Moria's area. They don't vaporize all of it because Brook talked about Ryuma and Zoro wanted to fight Ryuma. So yeah. So they kind of basically defeated everyone except for Ryuma. That was the only important fight that's left. But all shadows of Lolo's crew is given back. Zoro ran in, fought against Ryuma, took truthfully, Brook got their shadow back, and then they head back on to basically just the Sunny. And they fly away again. Kuma had been like following them after like the news about CP9. He's been following on the orders of like Kizaru. Then he saw what the stars did pretty effortlessly, then just leave. Well, he actually just grabbed Ryuma's corpse and just left. Ryuma's corpse is kind of put in like a box and given back to Wano. But they say that they kind of talked about what happened to Ryuma's body and what happened to his sword. And they're honestly just shocked by this. So, and the news broke all across Wano. So everyone's ready to see who has Ryuma's sword and what worthy swordsman Ryuma let have his sword. So yeah, everyone wants to hear who it was. Even Kaido got news about that. The Straw Hats did it. Only Kaido knows what crew did it and who did it individually. Who did it, which is Zoro. Yeah. Now after Enies Lobby, how many people Luffy killed on Enies Lobby, and Luffy's all around just power of his ship, and now the ship, right? Well, Luffy's bounty is roughly around 330 million now. This seems a little too low, actually. He's ally of Whitebeard. It's been announced to the world. He destroyed most of Enies Lobby. He killed a lot of Cyberpol agents and individual Marines. He killed Hogback, almost killed Absalom, almost killed Moria, almost killed Perona. Sank a majority of Thriller Bark. His bounty's through the roof. Well, he doesn't mean killing him. He unintentionally just causes mayhem. Like, intentionally causes mayhem, but unintentionally causes deaths. That's going to be how it is for him. This bounty is roughly around 340 million. I'd say that's pretty fair for him. So yeah. Pasuya arrives as the highest bounty supernova. Zoro even having a bounty comparable to Law. Those Hanji are both tied for the same bounty as Law. Chopper has a bounty of like 200. Nami has a bounty of I'd say same like I say everyone else has the same bounty besides Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji. And Robin, because she settled on Luffy, and Luffy kind of has her on the wall. Like he individually went to Enies Lobby and destroyed it for her. Because Luffy's backing her bounty around 120 million now. And Frankie, because he built this giant ass ship, his bounty is worth roughly around 95 million around there. So, but now they chill out on Sabaody for a few days. It's probably like a week or two actually. In the meantime, Luffy met Rayleigh, and Rayleigh even told Luffy he's going to train him individually. He's going to train Luffy. So he told them all he's going to train Luffy because he told them the meaning of this ride this used to be Roger's hat. Roger gave it to Shanks, not Shrank. He gave it to Shanks, and now Shanks interested in Luffy, and Luffy's right in front of him. He's going to train him. So yeah. So the next 2 weeks, Luffy ends up training with Rayleigh. So yeah. Honestly, just because Luffy would benefit the most from 2 weeks of training. So yeah. He doesn't think any of the Straws can surpass Luffy with 2 weeks of training from him. He's just simply too crafty and has a good sense of battle. After 2 weeks, he returns, covered in sweat, but he's understanding of observation hockey now. He understands it. It doesn't mean he can use it on a good scale. He's pretty bad at observation. So yeah. Actually, he's not probably bad at it, but he can't use it on an average scale, like Kobe or something can post-timeskip. I think that mostly tap into it briefly, but short bursts of observation. But what he can use well is Conquerors. He can knock out roughly around 10,000 people with Conquerors. So, yeah. Now with this, we go on to, I would say, maybe just, probably, I guess the auction house, because they still met Kami, they still met Hachi, but they met Hachi before he was captured. So yeah, but they kind of got bored, so around Sabaody for a bit, like around it. They found the one guy that had the post that face very similar to Sanji wanted poster, and they fight. They kick him. Sanji kicked him in the face, just made him beautiful. And then Vivi is still not Vivi, Kami is still captured. But then the auction house, and Luffy walked in, and everyone immediately knew who he was. He's been known as the ally of the Whitebeard pirates. Kid lost Luffy, thinking of it as some shrimp, but his two right and left hands have the same bounty as Law. So, yeah. Like, Sanji's qualified as a supernova currently. Like, there's 13 supernovas. Sanji's one of them. Sanji is a new supernova. Yeah. And Sanji, knowing how I would use them, sparked a cigarette, just seemed badass, and Zoro had one of his swords out. Carlos had bought Kami, and Luffy just walked over to Carlos, then walked down to the stage, and said, 40 billion berries. Take it or leave it. Everyone's eyes froze, and the guy says, there's 40 billion berries, going once, going twice, bought to Straw Hat Luffy. And he says, well, there's also an old man back there, I'll take him. And the guy's like, I'll take him too. And he says, In total, how many berries do you think it would take to buy everyone here? The guy's like, well, a lot of them are worthless, so 40 billion berries should buy everyone. He's like, then I'll buy them all, free them. He does that immediately, and everyone on Luffy's orders just leaves. And everyone shocked that Luffy just bought everyone and freed them. Luffy would walk out with this Kami on his back. He also means put a gun on Luffy's face, saying, "Give me the mermaid. I want her. I'm a such good dragon. You should give me her." From inside, it then says, "Gear second, jet pistol." And Charles right in the face, leaving him flying halfway across that boaty. And he rearranged Charles' face. Physically, he rearranged it. Charles' dad and sister look at Luffy, but Zoro puts a sword to both their necks, telling them both to just sit down and wait patiently for the Marines to arrive and save them. They immediately nod, and Sanji will kick Charles' dad's hand, making the gun hold the ground, and the Thompson gun crushing it. And Nami just yanks the gun from his sister's hand, and then they just walk away. So yeah. But Sanji, Luffy looks at Kid and Law, telling them both come on, and the Marines are outside, and he wants to see what they can do. Kid says, yeah, whatever. Doesn't know what to do. Law says, fair enough. I'm also interested. Luffy tells his crew to hold everyone, gonna just hold them hostage, quote unquote. The crew none as they all sit down the steps, telling no one here to move. Nami points again at Charles's parent, like Charles's dad and sister, telling them she's watching them especially. Robin says, Nami, no need to point a gun, as she says, clutch. And it puts her hands around their necks, saying, if they move an inch, she'll kill them. Simple as that. And everyone in there besides Straw Hats just froze. Well, and Kid and Law's crew, but yeah. They go outside, and then they completely body the Marines. Like, Luffy just flies straight ahead, like Kid on his back. And Kid just uses a giant metal hand to swipe away most of the Marines around them. Then Luffy threw Law at them, and Law just did room and could quickly all slash them apart with how close he got and how easy this could be. And they all work pretty well as like a trio. Once Kid's metal arm disbanded, Luffy caught all the metal, tapped it, and made his own metal arm, and completely just decimated everyone around him. So yeah, they worked pretty well as a trio. They all thought it they all thought individually we work well together. I guess we're okay. Just Kid's like, I guess. He's like, we work well. Law's like, we're pretty good. And Kid's like, maybe. So, Zoro and Killer took down some random Marines that were nearby. Eventually, Kizaru had arrived. And everyone's shocked, Luffy isn't threatened by Kizaru or Kuma. At all. Kuma and Luffy basically racing as they're both speed demons. Like, they're both moving at the same speed. And Kuma tried to tap Luffy, Luffy punches Kuma in the face. As simple as that. But Kuma got close enough to Luffy, tell him, I'm part of the revolutionaries, where Sabo's part of. He ordered me to get you away from Kizaru. Luffy immediately said, alright then, well, I want you to get Kizaru away from here. Just don't make it obvious you're fighting for me, just get him far away. Make it seem like he slapped us away, but then say that so that I found some way to control them using my floating ability. Go and nod as he stops Luffy, but he steps right to where Luffy is. Kizaru has what's going on, like this one Kuma was like, oh, the Luffy has over on them previously, I think, and that's why they didn't go far. Kizu says, yeah, reasonable. So, in the meantime, as Kizu and Kuma are traveling over to them, Kimu's going slowly, saving his energy, and he says it to Kizu, and Kizu says, hey, no worries, just catch other pirates. Luffy tells Rush, hey, my brother Sabo's he's a revolutionary, and Kuma's part of them. He's gonna get far away from the admirals. Rayleigh had heard that, saying, all right, good, you have reasonable connections. Just do what I taught you. Luffy would nod, and then salutes the Straw Hats, saying he doesn't know where they're going, but they're gonna be separated for a while. He knows it. And probably it's gonna take them at least months to get back together. But tells them, wherever they are, to train. He sat down thinking really hard. This long kid Brandon remembers asking what's going on, but he says, just tell Kuma you're with me. Just tell him that. If he goes near you, tell him you're with me, you guys should be safe. They nod, and they mainly begin fleeing. Kuma got near Long, I was like, Luffy, I'm with Luffy. Kuma nodded, leaving, and then, he kind of punches Law in the gut, sending him flying through a ship, but doesn't arrest him. And Law says, it's about as easy as I'm getting, as he just passes out. But with how hard Kuma hit him, Kizu thinks Law's dead. Then, he says he did the same thing to Kid, and Kid told Kuma the same thing too, and Kid's like, this is easy as I'm getting off the Marines. So yeah. Kizu got close enough, Kid made like a giant steel barrier, and his ship immediately just set sail at full speed. So yeah. Kuma isn't being blamed by Kizu. Kizu's like, a lot of pirates. But yeah. Starts to engage again, and Kuma stopped them all away. And in the meantime, Luffy just mumbled, saying, give it at least 1 year. The Sharks get nervous about this, but they all nod, and as they understand it. So the Sharks are all set up to go 1 year. Go 1 year far away. Luffy lands on Amazon Lily, but halfway through that, he kind of before he even got, after an hour of just flying, he honestly stopped himself and just started to fly to Amazon Lily normally. When he landed, he kind of landed on a nearby pirate ship and happened to be Boa's. And Boa's wondering why there's a man on her boat. Kujo will attack him, but they can't really land a hit on him as he catches other arrows and throws them into the ground. Or into the plank. Not on the plank. Into the deck. Only thing that Rayleigh told him to find her. He starts that, he's talking about holding Akuma and everything, and who his brother was, and what happened. And, Boa's like, because Rayleigh sent you, we'll offer you sanctuary. But I'm giving it a week. That's the most you have. Other girls argue, saying, no, an hour, no, a minute. Boa's like, everyone shut up. Fine. At the most, 4 days. And they all agree on 4 days. Because that's all he'll need. Boa makes an announcement to who Luffy is and who sent him, and they're immediately just ready for this. So, yeah. Luffy gets close patched up, he's not allowed to supervise it, and he gets to know Boa, as Boa got a crush on Luffy. But he lived with Boa for those whole 4 days, and so did her sister get a crush on him. He knew it, but didn't really care to act on it. So, yeah. I said before, this Luffy's a bit smarter, so, But she's grabbing a news queue, as the news queue certain things, he could understand the news queue using Wizard of All Things. And the news queue just kind of like make a squawk of approval, saying he'll find them for Luffy. And after 2 days, the news queue sent out a message, and the news queue all reunite, giving that one news queue the same message, that one news queue finds Luffy, and gives Luffy a new read letters from each Straw Hat. Luffy taking up a cries, and the Straw Hats were all crying that Luffy was alive, and they're all okay. Because, yeah. So now with this, Luffy understood this crew was okay, but his letter kind of basically told them 3 years. So, not 3 years, 2 years. So basically 3D, 2Y. That's kind of what he wrote, and the Straw Hats understand that's 2 years, 3 days. So yeah, now with this, Luffy does go with Boa to Amazon Lily to Impel down, but kind of just say something about on Boa's ceiling most of the time, so kind of just floating in the corner. But Luffy just asks Boa if she loves him, and she says, "Yes, I do." Goes, I'll think about those feelings for a bit. But now Luffy flew straight out of the room immediately, and no one saw where Luffy was there with how fast he was moving. We flew in shadows at Impel down, and basically flew so fast around Impel down, but first straight towards Zamanosh, knocking her out and disabling all the cameras around. Boa couldn't have done this because Boa was on the ship, so yeah. Eventually, he had to get Boa away from there and bring her just straight to Marineford, and she's okay with that. So yeah. Now with this, basically, they disable what was it? We have Luffy disabled all the cameras. Those cameras from Damo's office after disabling the cameras in her room. Then eventually, well, with all the cameras down, Luffy destroyed all controls, making sure the cameras can never be set back up, or at least if they could be, it would take at least a day. So, yeah. Wanted to run Impel down, basically beating him in his path. And, yeah. Got down to base level 4, gathering the same guys with him. But we came to Magellan. Magellan was Luffy's hardest fight ever. But Magellan can't catch Luffy at all. Luffy eventually had an idea, as basically he flew to one of the cells, and basically kind of slammed into one of the cell doors, completely knocking it down. Then grabbed it, and first he got the prisoner and just threw him at Magellan. Magellan grabbed him by the shirt and threw the prisoner to the ground, and persuaded him to just knock out the prisoner. Magellan turned his head back to Luffy. Well, Luffy slammed the prison door in Magellan's face. How fast it was going, the momentum would still hit Magellan. Not hard, but still it would hit him. Well, with Magellan smacked right in the jaw, he got knocked to his feet, and then with him being dazed and barely able to use poison anymore, he kept using the same door, kind of taking off the bars, sending him all onto Magellan, and actually impaling him and stabbing him into the ground. He's basically pinned to the ground with a bar in his hand, a bar on his shoulder, a bar on his leg. Magellan is pinned down there. But to everyone's shock, Luffy had beaten Magellan. Luffy got down to other levels, and eventually he got to 5.5. And when he's there, well, Ivan's like, Straw Hat, how'd you get down here without Magellan catching you? When he's on the table yelling, Mookie Water Boy, beat Magellan. And everyone's jaw dropped. He says, it was hard, but also easy. It was easy for strategy, hard for a battle. He holds out his hand saying, yeah, this also burns really badly. Well, Sabo's told me about you. Can you cure this? Ivan says, give me a minute. And Luffy kind of gets accepted by Ivan, and instead of taking off his life, it's like 5 months are going to take off his life to heal that little bit of poison. And Luffy's like, better than 6 months, I guess. So, now with this, well, you're down to the final floors. And turned out in the meantime that Luffy, they were laying low as Magellan's being healed, just to lay low for a bit. They hadn't missed Ace, and Luffy just blames himself. It's like Luffy just cries as he hears that Ace, he missed Ace because he was laying low. And Jinbei's like, you beat Magellan. If you get out of here, we can catch Ace. You get me out of here, we're gonna catch Ace, certified. We're gonna go to the cell door, saying, hey, let me out of here too. I wanna make my resignation in my own way as a warlord. He's nodded, saying, fine, but if you fight me, you're gonna lose again. Porto's like, I don't have poison. He's like, I don't care, I'm smarter and I'm stronger, so who cares? Well, I got smarter and I got stronger. So you're not beating me either way. And then Luffy just tore the cell door down, and then just freed Crocodile. But because no one's fast as him, he kind of just grabbed all their clothes, moving all levitate, and then flew straight out Impel down, with him guiding all of them, kind of like in a line, straight out Impel down. They flew out at such fast speeds. Eventually find a marine ship that's full of this, basically the biggest one there and the fastest. Identified the fastest, Luffy identified the biggest. Put them all together, found the next tail, they sail the best. They get on it, and they clear out every single marine on it. And they sail off. Luffy got bored, just made the ship fly, and they fly. But it turned out that the ship was too far gone, and Ace had recently just gotten to Marineford. But the thing is, they get to Marineford at the same time as Whitebeard. As soon as Whitebeard started to quake, everyone hears Luffy just yell, Ace. But then suddenly someone landed on Luffy's ship, and it happened to be Sabo. So Sabo just laughs, saying, Ivan told me you guys would be here. So yeah. So with this, as they fly down at max speed, Sabo jumped down, coating his staff in hockey, slamming it down on the platform that Ace was on, quickly making it crumble and freeing Ace immediately. When it happened, Ace spun around, making a basic flaming circle around him and Sabo, shooting it out, and burning a few marines to the ground. As Luffy flew down, grabbing them both, flying over to Whitebeard. And why would Shock see Luffy free Ace that quickly? Luffy and Sabo freed him that quickly, saved him too. But Whitebeard suddenly started to quake, and when Whitebeard says, we're here and we're not getting away unscathed. There's going to be a war regardless. He says, it's not really a war. More like a skirmish. Where that's why, and Luffy's immediately some of the ship that he had straight into Marineford, killing a lot of Marines rushing at them. Then Luffy swung the ship around, just recklessly. And, Luffy just kind of jumped around, making a lot of things float. And this kind of just resembled Shiki versus Garp and Sengoku. So yeah. But I can assume that Shiki probably had his fruit longer than Luffy did. So Luffy does it. Luffy had it for 12 years, or 10 years at this point. But Luffy's trained insanely hard with it, learning a bit of knowledge too. I assume Shiki didn't do that. Sabo's a better encouragement for Luffy. So Luffy may have the same amount of skill as Shiki, but didn't have it for the same amount of time. Better, or same amount of skill, less time. This is kind of how it goes for Luffy and Shiki. But yeah. Now this, with Luffy causing mayhem with Whitebeard by his side, these two work in tandem perfectly. Luffy eventually did a retreat, grabbing Dendemushi off that marine ship that he had, and immediately wanted to know how to call someone. Immediately got told how to call someone, and coincidentally called Law. Law asked who this is, and Luffy's like, yo, it's me. I'm at Marineford. Fine kid, come here. I was like, why should I? He's like, Whitebeard's here, and we're kind of winning right now. I was like, fair enough. And Law found Kid. They get to Marineford like at the same time as I would say Luffy canonically arrived. As they both arrive, they realize Luffy's right. They're winning. But as soon as Luffy and Garp start to face down, a giant metal fist had grabbed Garp, and then Law had used injection shot right on Garp's chest. Garp's chest had been sliced up just on a very bad scale. Luffy even says that this is for Garp's own good. As Luffy about to punch him, Garp had used Haki, but Luffy grabbed his shirt, flying him straight into the sky, then slamming him head first into Sengoku. So apparently this Buddha form about to hit Luffy, but Garp's like, Sengoku, watch out! So he realizes that Goku put his head in Haki just so he didn't kill himself, and he knocked out Sengoku, or knocked him down, and he knocked himself out. Garp hit the ground unconscious, and Goku tried to get back up. Luffy just basically like sent a giant marine ship down on Sengoku's body, knocking him out. So Luffy took down both Sengoku and Garp that quickly. Well, Garp probably isn't knocked out, but Luffy did the same thing to him and just sent a giant marine ship down on him. So yeah. But with the two biggest threats out of the way, there's also left is the three admirals. But, currently, Ace, Sabo, and Whitebeard are fighting Aki Inu. Marco and Ivan are both teamed up against Kizaru. And, Luffy is currently staring at Aokiji. Aokiji says that he made a promise to keep Robin alive until she has friends. He's not fighting Luffy. He would nod as Luffy and Aokiji just walk away from each other. Suddenly, they both spin around, and they both just lock fists. Luffy and Kizaru being trading basically below, so going all out with raw strength alone. Luffy eventually did get on Gear Second, and just Gear Second into Jet Gatling, with Kizaru keeping pace with him. But when his punches had wrapped around Kizun's fist or its arm, that doesn't hit him in the face until Luffy just grabbed Kizun's shirt and flew him straight into the atmosphere. So just flew him high in the sky. Then as Kizun went to the ground, he started to burst into ice and froze Luffy. But Ace shot flames right at Luffy unthawing him, as Luffy flew straight towards Ace, tackling Aki Inu and grabbing his shirt, where he tried to only have his hands caught in magma. But Law shield shambles and switched out Luffy with a random marine. So yeah. But Law had ideas, he jumped right into the ravine, yelled shambles, stopping out him Aki Inu. When it made Aki Inu fall straight down the ravine. When Law had an idea, was him and Kid and Luffy team up, and they sealed the ravine shut. Basically just kind of closing in Aki Inu. Leading one of the admirals down for the count. Kuzan kind of just has to take a minute to recover. And Kizaru lost. So, yeah, 3 admirals are gone. So are Garp and Goku. The Marines lose. All around, they lost. So Luffy slammed Garp and Goku both hundreds of feet down into the ground by slamming a marine ship onto them full force, as they're both in the middle of recovering. And then Aki Inu's trapped underground. He won't get out for almost an hour. Then, Sabo had enough time to actually join in and fight against Kizaru with Marco and Ivan. So I don't think Kizaru would lose, but that fight is more of a standstill than anything else. So one of the admirals is too held up to join in either fight. Kuzan just needs to recover. He'll recover faster, than anyone else, but still, this war is basically over. There's no one to help them. There's only vice admirals, and Luffy can be a vice admiral in seconds. So the Marineford's basically just a bust. By the time Shanks arrives, but you know, he wouldn't even arrive. By the time everyone's leaving, they see Shanks ending his fight with Kaido. Because Shanks was said to clash with Kaido a day before Marineford. Marineford ended in an hour. So, yeah. With this, it's right to leave. Luffy loses a Whitebeard. Whitebeard has like a hole punch through him, so Law and Marco are busy treating that. Law finds an illness. Is actually able to help cure the illness. Law's a good doctor. I assume him and Marco together can heal the illness. They heal it. They heal his injury. But the cost of the injury destroying one of his organs. Law can rebuild the organ. He does it, so Whitebeard is basically his time as a pirate's over. So yeah. Well, his illness is treated, but the organ's gone. He estimates the Whitebeard has 2 years left to live. So, yeah. Or he's like, 2 years, that works. He says, if I was still sick, I bet that I would have a few days left. So he thanks Law, and Marco thanks him for giving him the maximum amount of time left. So yeah. Luffy reunited with Shanks, and Shanks asks Luffy how do you escape Marineford without getting beaten up by Garp. Only for Whitebeard to laugh, saying, this little bastard slammed down a marine ship on him. Luffy says, yeah, I did. And that's when Sengoku. Shanks but laugh, saying, I should take the straw hat right now if you're able to hold them both down with 2 marine ships that quickly. Because, no need. So yeah. Well, if you're wondering how Luffy shot them both down there that quickly, we just use basically gravity, but also just his own raw strength to shove them down even harder. So, the marine ships are basically just fully immersed into the ground. It's like a literal whole marine ship on top of them. And Garp, with how much room there is to move, Garp is going to struggle to get that whole thing off of them. So, yeah. There's not much room for movement. So, yeah. So, yeah, now with this, well, Luffy decides to leave as Shanks offers to train him, but Luffy's like, no, I'm trying to Rayleigh. And, well, Shanks ends up giving Luffy his Dendemushi, so his Whitebeard, and so does Law, so does Kid. Well, Luffy already knew Law's. Kid gives him his Dendemushi number. But, well, the Whitebeard crew basically bows to them, saying, you know, there's no need for you guys to need any help from anyone else but us. Even Shanks is like, yep, I'm willing to help you too for being friends with Luffy. So, yeah. So now with this, well, they leave. But there's one problem. As soon as the Whitebeard crew got back to Sphinx Island, and just as soon as they got back, well, as soon as they got back, Whitebeard is just punched in the face by Blackbeard. And Whitebeard is knocked straight to the ground and stabbed right in the face. Straight in the face by Blackbeard. Just over and over again. Doesn't kill him, but he's able to grab Whitebeard and throw him straight through Sphinx Island. And Whitebeard and his crew have to have a war in the middle of in the middle of Sphinx Island. But Whitebeard made sure that the war didn't get to the town. The town even gathered guns to shoot down a bit of Blackbeard's crew. So yeah, now Blackbeard is almost dead, but Whitebeard died first as he got stabbed straight in the face over and over again. He died just through blood loss and injury. And plus he's missing an organ. He couldn't function at his full capability. So yeah, Whitebeard did die. Blackbeard took his fruit, and Blackbeard still became a Yonko. But with how much Whitebeard's crew was still there, Payback War kind of ends in more of a draw than a loss as in canon. So, yeah. So Whitebeard's crew retreats, because it was a draw Whitebeard's crew. Well, it takes him a bit longer to become a Yonko. It took him around a year and a half instead of just 1 year. So it took him an extra few months to become a Yonko. Meantime, Luffy, Law, and Kid are both certified allies of Shanks now, and they're almost Whitebeard's crew. The bounties get raised by a lot, and Luffy actually, well, just because people don't want to tell the full truth about how Luffy just literally held off Garp and Sengoku and Kuzan, his bounty should will be around Yonko level, even though his power isn't, because that power difference, his bounty only raises to roughly about 800 million. That's his bounty raise for holding off an admiral, and well, he actually held off Aki Inu too. He helped hold off Aki Inu with help of Law and Kid. Aki Inu, Kuzan, Sengoku, and Garp were all held off by Luffy. He had help with 2 of them. Garp unintentionally just knocked himself out and pushed down Sengoku. Kuzan was just unlucky. As simple as it. Garp was just dumb. Sengoku was too big of a target. And Aki Inu, well, that wasn't his fault, that was Law's. Law is just smart. So yeah. So, just through dumb luck, he took down Sengoku, Garp, and Aki Inu. And then Kuzan was just genuinely unlucky to come across Luffy. Plus, he was holding back so that Luffy didn't die. So, yeah. But now with this, well, because these three were still there, and Law was thought to be dead because Kizaru, Kuma is still sent as a slave. So, yeah. Now with this, Luffy's bounty post-timeskip, well, 800 million, and he's in return to Rayleigh. Because, well, Luffy was served by ally of Whitebeard's crew, and Luffy even because Marco left because White literally left after 6 months, we got bored and just called Marco saying, Rayleigh left, come train me, please. And Marco arrived training Luffy for 5 months, giving Luffy a month to train on his own. So yeah, Luffy has a lot better hockey. He already has advanced observation, which is future sight, and then his army hockey is pretty decent now. So yeah, he's on the verge of Ryuo. That's how close he is. But now his skills surpass Shiki, even though his time doesn't. So yeah. Pause. So Luffy basically he has advanced observation and nearly advanced armament hockey. Nearly. So yeah, the threats all reunite, they're pretty chill. And they're all a lot stronger than canon, the fact that they all train with Luffy, who always strives to improve himself. Especially Nami, who Luffy would actually rely on for his training with his float fruit, because, well, he's a little bit smarter but not much smarter, so he's still kind of dumb. So Nami is a pretty big help to him. Yeah. Luffy also arrived at the same time as Zoro, so yeah. So when he arrived at Zoro, him and Zoro just trained together for a few days, and Zoro just sees how strong Luffy actually is. Even his armament hockey is simply just so scary that Zoro doesn't want to fight anymore. Luffy beat the fighting spirit out of Zoro. So yeah. But yeah. So now with this, we probably go on Fishman Island, where there's not even an arc. Luffy just defeats everyone in his path with no difficulty. Plus, he already had previous Conqueror's hockey training, so one British Conquerors could take out every fishman in the vicinity. He could take out any enemy that he had in Fishman Island with no much effort really. But yeah. So Luffy basically he takes all the fishmen with the British Conqueror's hockey, which shocks everyone. Instead, he can knock out 10,000 guys pre-time skip with Conquerors because Rayleigh taught him to. So, But now with this, well, Fishman Island's over relatively quickly in half the time. Shirahoshi would thank Luffy and Shirahoshi become friends. And now with this, they had a Punk Hazard. Punk Hazard isn't really an arc either, as Luffy looked around the chaos, saying that, well, he's just amazed how strong this was, saying he thinks the only reason that they won at Marineford is simply the fact that Kuzan was being nice to him, and Inu was caught off guard. The stars didn't see what happened at Marineford, so they don't know what's going on. Luffy tells Robin, basically why Kuzan didn't kill him, and he says, oh yeah, Kuzan was holding back on me because he wanted Robin to still have a family. Which kind of made Robin shed a tear a little bit. Then he's like, the reason we beat Inu is because Law's fruit was a good convenience and caught him off guard. So yeah, so they're all kind of shocked, but still, Luffy held off Garp, Sengoku, Kuzan, and Inu. He gets a bit of credit. There's only one strong marine there that he didn't hold off, and that was Kizaru, who was held off by much stronger opponents. So, but now with this, we go on. Also, Ace is wondering about him. Because Whitebeard's dead, Ace retired from being a pirate. So Ace is honestly gone chilling at Sphinx Island, just relaxing. Him and Marco unprotected. But meantime, Ace did learn to master his hockey. Conquerors is a bit hard, but he can do it on his own. Let's pretend that Ace is confirmed to be a user of ornament and observation hockey, and Conquerors, like a controlled user of all three types. So I don't know why he didn't use it. But yeah. But yeah. Now we can really just go on to just Caesar. That's not really a fight. Luffy, when he realized how much what Caesar was doing, he immediately just flew up in the air and flew on as fast as he could. With speed he did it. He kind of just made Caesar make a tornado around himself. But Luffy shot right straight through it, headbutting Caesar right in the chest, nearly caving it in and knocking him out. So yeah. Then we came to Smoker. First they arrived not long after Kuzan had left. So yeah, So Luffy wanted to meet Kuzan and just actually thank him, but he didn't have time to do so, so he felt bad, but still. But Luffy had saved Smoker, as him and Smoker are pretty decent allies now. Smoker had just seen how strong Luffy was, and Luffy even said he had advanced observation haki. So yeah, so Smoker already knew he had no chance, as Luffy had a form of advanced haki. And Conqueror's haki. Also, Virgo, Law was actually able to call it Marco. If I should put on Marco, just because of the fact that Marco was busy and at his own payback war with well, probably because he was busy recovering mainly. I would say that Jozu was a good option for Law, because Law wouldn't need help being a doctor. It's really just more help on his brute force side. So Jozu would be a good call for him. Marco would train Luffy. Pause. Because Law's a swordsman, Vista can train Law in time skip, and then Jozu can train Killer. Can train Kid and Killer. And that's exactly what happened. So currently, Kid conquers and used on a pretty okay scale. Zoro also was a bit stronger than Kanon now, so he gets pretty good observation haki, a bit better haki at that. So yeah. Only because Luffy made him change his perception of time with how fast Luffy moves. I mean, Luffy can currently move faster than light by a decent amount of time. Like, he knows he can, so he does. But, so back to this. Yeah, so Kid Killer train with Jozu, and Law and his crew train with Vista. But back to basically, just Rosa. Yeah, Law currently is on the same level as Doflamingo. And Kid and Killer aren't captured by Kaido. Literally, Vista was there. He wasn't in the fight against Kaido at all. Not even close. But Kaido was like, Vista's here, and so are these two brats who are trained under him. This would be too much of a hard fight. Apu, you failed me. So Apu's being half to death by Kaido, and then Kaido's like, you three leave before I try to change my mind. So yeah. So just because Kaido's like, just because I would lose too many forces against Vista, you guys can leave. It's as simple as that. So yeah. So Kid isn't held captive in Wano Kuni currently. He said he's training to head to Wano. He's training on his own right now, as Vista trained him during the 2 years, and then currently Kid is training on his own. Yeah, Kid just spends his whole time currently training. And Apu hates Kid, the fact that Kid had Vista on his side. Even Shanks is on his side. Kid doesn't really care, but he's still on a rampage against the Yonko, but not Shanks. So yeah. It was you respect Shanks a bit, and he can't go on a rampage against Kaido. He almost died. So, But now we go on to Dressrosa, and as they get closer to Dressrosa, they'll get disguises. Luffy goes as Lucy, and making the stadium. Luffy's just chilling there. Not much happening. And also, everyone heard about how easily Luffy and his crew ran through ran through Punk Hazard and Fishing Island. Luffy's bounty was raised to 830 million. And the rest of them weren't caught up on his bounty. They were just caught up that they escaped and they payback war. So when they heard Luffy's bounty 830 million now, they're shocked that his bounty's in the 800 millions. Then Robin kind of told them how high the Yonko bounties were. And there's that Luffy may be considered a Yonko candidate once Dressrosa is over and they beat Luffy. Even the law confirms he's probably the same scale as Doflamingo is, and Zoro and Sanji are closing in on his level of power. So yeah. Yeah, Law currently stronger than Zoro and Sanji. And just as they're sort of closing in on his power, those two combined could probably beat him and Doflamingo. So, but yeah. So, basically Dressrosa, Luffy enjoys like the whole fight. Luffy beat Don Shinra the same way as he did in Canon. But Kim did basically Sai versus him. Luffy easily just put one finger up against Sai's vibration attack, and the vibrations just stopped right then and there. Because Luffy was very curious about this, about the earthquake fruit for Marco. And Marco told him how it works. So Luffy just made Sai's vibration basically just useless against him. Luffy can somewhat just alter the vibrations against him. And it was mainly him using Sai's shoe against him, really. So that's the main thing. But once Luffy tapped Sai's shoe, Sai got sent flying into the ocean, got bit by tons of fighting fish. Against Bartholomew. Bartholomew couldn't land a hit against Luffy, and he also wouldn't try to, but still, Luffy encouraged him to try to win. But Luffy beat the mess out of Bartolomeo, but called him a true fighter. And asking Bartolomeo a question that he had the idea of her after being friends with Marco. Do you want to be my first division commander? And immediately, Bartolomeo began crying, saying, I'd be honored. We high fives Bartolomeo. And then when we go to the back, Chinchou says, Luffy, make Sai your second division commander. He was like, I'll consider it if I get the full brunt of the Hoppo Navy. And Chinchou's like, done. Sai, you're now Don Sai. And Sai just battled Luffy, thanking him for giving the position so quickly. Like, battled Luffy and Chinchou. When Cavendish, like, you beat me in a fight fair and square, and your bounty's almost 1 billion. You'd be a Yonko candidate by the time this is over if you're planning to beat the Flamingo. His bounty isn't as high as yours, even if his bounty was unfrozen, it wouldn't be as high as yours. So I have confidence you're here to beat the Flamingo up. So your bounty can be, I can be your third division commander. If he nods, it establishes all of his division commanders of the guys that want to be his division commanders. And with this, well, his now army is established to be over 4,000. So yeah, eventually he walks out of the Coliseum saying he doesn't really want to fight anymore, as the fruit isn't really worth it. So he just leaves and all his men join him. He walks out, Zoro's questions who these guys are, and well, eventually we gather this crew saying we can now have a division of 4,000 men. It's basically points to his guys. And this point, they all introduce themselves, and they're all just in pure shock. Luffy made friends with his opponents and made them his, underlings. So yeah. Luffy doesn't really call them his division commanders. He more or less, just to spite the Marines and make fun of them that he held them off for so long and then helped their strongest, he calls them his admirals. Or his sea admirals, that's what he calls them, his sea admirals. Like Bartolomeo's the first, Sai's the second, and Cavendish is the third. Like those are his 3 sea admirals. So yeah. Now with this, well, Luffy had heard about basically I forgot who it was, but the flag guy. Luffy heard about him basically being one of being one of those goes for one of his closer allies. And Luffy basically established who to take down after the whole system was broken down to him. With about it all, he's like, all right then, well, you take out this one, you guys take out this one. I'll have it all established with Luffy sending out guys with everyone they want to take down. When Rebecca heard what Luffy was doing in the plan and just told them what Kushi was, King Riku even joined in on telling them everything. And Luffy then says, well, you guys can't fight the Flamingo, that's my job. So, hold up, let me find this real quick. So I guess it can basically be like Usopp and Robin are sent after Treble, but with them could be like Cavendish. Then Diamante is Rebecca. Then Kuros, I believe, which is like Rebecca's dad. And then, Strahd that could be with them could probably be, I would say, maybe Law, who actually would go along with this. Saying, Diamante is not that good of a guy, and this fight would be over quickly. So Law goes there and plays the Straw Hat as his crew is gone. Pika basically just Zoro. Luffy's like, Zoro, you take him out on yourself, you're pretty strong. You're about as strong as Doflamingo is, or getting close to as strong as Doflamingo is, so you can handle him yourself. Burgo's dead. Rocinante's dead. Sugar. Usopp. Simple as that. Usopp just sent to defeat Sugar. Jola, Brook, and Nami. Or they sent Nami somewhere else, but just Brook. Brook sent to handle Jola as Luffy confidence in Brook defeating Jola. Once Luffy heard his whole crew didn't have hockey, he encouraged to train them. As even because Marco made him told Luffy to make sure his crew was strong enough to go into challenge a Yonko with how high his bounty was. Luffy even just encouraged with his bounty could make him a Yonko candidate. So Luffy's trying to make sure his crew can keep up with him if they were to become Yonko. So Brook's currently learning hockey and is a lot stronger than usual and faster. So Brook can handle Jola himself and dodge her art. Violet, no one's really sent to handle her. She's actually just Sanji's just sent to talk to her. So Laoji, Sai, Senior Pink, Frankie, Mach Weiss, Luffy sends out Hydrodine, and Bartolomeo. Dellinger, well, Luffy had found Bellamy and tells Bellamy that this is where Dellinger is stationed. Him and Bellamy will go beat Dellinger. With Gladys, maybe Orlumbus. Buffalo shouldn't be too hard, and Baby 5 is easily handled by Sai, so, yeah. Hold up. Here. Now with this, well, everyone goes to their places, and everyone pretty easily wins their fight. Like, Zoro is nearing advanced armament hockey. He cuts down Pika relatively quickly. So yeah, like one slash from like his 2-sword style cut Pika clean in half. Then just 3-sword style cut Pika into pieces, and he found the real one and killed him. And because Trouble's beaten so quickly, Luffy and Law both fight against Doflamingo. Law isn't equal to Doflamingo, and Luffy in Gear Second is enough to beat Doflamingo. So these two combined, Luffy in Gear Second, Law using all of his abilities all at once, they both beat Doflamingo in a matter of 10 minutes. That's all it took. So by the time they're done with their fight against Doflamingo, well, the Marines are here. Luffy leaves, only see Fujitora in front of him. Fujitora just threw dice, and Fujitora's like, where are they? And because Luffy's an honest guy, and, well, Fujitora's scanning him with observation, he's like, oh, it's, like, 6 and 4. So it's like, that equals a 10, and the 10, like, basically, like, I chose, like, an even number. Even number would determine if I didn't catch you, an odd number would mean I catch you. Because it's even, I'm not going to catch you, we can actually just hang out till Sengoku arrives. And, well, if he tries to catch you, I'm willingly going to talk him down. So, this still think this whole crew's arrested, and Luffy and Fujitora get along together for a bit. Luffy even encouraged Fujitora to try to actually help him learn advanced observation. We're like, if you're not close to it at all, I'm not going to help you. That'd be against my code. But if you're close to it, I'll give you tips. Even Law was like, I'm pretty close myself. Can you help me too? So yeah. So when Luffy and Law are kind of training against Fujitora, well, Sengoku had arrived, and Fujitora's training them. He asks why, and Fujitora tells them what he made, the deal he made with them both, and then Sengoku's like, oh, okay, then you're kind of giving them tips on their strategies, really, that would improve their observation hockey. That works. Law and Sengoku talk for a bit, and Luffy would talk to Sengoku, asking him that, was he really pressured, was he really held off by Luffy? And he's like, not really held off, Garp headbutted me insanely hard, unintentionally, and that knocked me down. If I wasn't headbutted by Garp, the Pirates would have lost, or at least it would have ended in a draw. And I can tell you confidently what would have happened if you weren't lucky. And I wasn't shocked. Luffy just laughed it off, saying he knew he was lucky, just not that lucky. And Sengoku kind of share a high five, and Luffy apologized to Sengoku, asking, do you want to have a proper match, and you can beat me normally. Sengoku just laughed as him and Luffy fight, and Luffy still tried to hold him down with the pirate ship. Well, kind of like a random ship that Doflamingo had. Sengoku's actually realizing Luffy's putting a lot of pressure on it. Luffy went Gear 3rd, shoving the ship straight into Sengoku, pushing him straight to the ground. Then, once the ship was off of him, Luffy just went a Gear 3rd Gatling, but covered in armament hockey. It's on the end over and over again, and Sengoku can't even block it because just Luffy's seeing through it completely. But Sengoku started to stop holding back, using invisible hockey, and Luffy can't land a single hit anymore. Luffy just laughed, saying, alright then, I lose. He landed, disabling Gear 3rd, even not even using Gear 4th. But everyone realized that Luffy and Sengoku were both holding back on each other no matter what. And Sengoku then said, Luffy, because you're fighting against me, and you're just fighting against Fujitora, I'm giving you a new bounty of over 930 million. And even you and Law will both beat Dofi. So, Law, you're getting a bounty raise relatively high as well. But Luffy, your bounty's going to be well over 930 million, and confidently over 950 million. So, yeah. So everyone's no worry that Luffy may become a Yonko at this point. But instead, Luffy's bounty is raised to the same thing as Katakuri's. So, it's over 1 billion, but not over 1,100,000,000. So, yeah. So, Luffy and Katakuri are the same bounty now. But I don't really want to go into bounties, so I didn't take notes. I'm not going to go over bounties constantly, but, I am for Luffy, that's about it. But, hold up. Law's bounty is currently roughly about, I would say, now 640 million, around there. So Luffy's bounty is in billions, Law's in 600 millions. And Kid got the news about how high the bounties were raised, and just in pure shock. So yeah, Bikiki called Luffy and Law and Mushi and asked them to meet up. Says, we're heading to Zo, we'll give you coordinates. But when we get there, we'll give you coordinates. Because everyone did it so quickly at Dressrosa, they got there in an hour and ended it 3 hours later. Dressrosa was relatively quickly. So now Luffy basically ends up getting to Zo. Kid arrives not long after Law had arrived. And they kind of shot there as Kid talks to them for a bit, asks about how the bounties got raised that quickly and that high for beating a simple warlord. He tells them who they beat and how they beat him, but then how Luffy fought against Sengoku and how he fought against Fujitora as well. But it's more like a friendly spar where him and Sengoku both held back. But still, Luffy and Law are training together at the same time as they're talking to Kid. And at one moment, Luffy basically learned fully advanced observation hockey, and saw straight into the future. Like not an outline, just Law's full body and where and how he would attack him. And easily beat Law, grabbing him by the shirt and throwing him almost off Zoe completely. But Law realized that Luffy just did, and switched places with like a rock as it just fell between the ocean. And Law is just on top of the boat now. On top of Zoe now. Well, that's Luffy saying, "So you fully unlocked it, huh?" Luffy would nod, and Kid asks, "What?" Luffy's like, "Oh, I mastered advanced observation." And everyone just hears that completely shocked, besides Law. Law says he's getting close, but not quite. He's not quite at Luffy's level yet. But yeah. Sanji currently, well, as soon as, chronically when Sanji is told to go to Big Mom by, Beijing walks through the forest only to see Luffy, Law, Kid, everyone's there. He immediately just froze. Really just Kid picked up a gun, pointing at Beijing's head, telling him, give me one reason you shouldn't be dead right here, because you're ally of Big Mom. Luffy immediately just grabbed one of Zoro's swords, pointing at him, and Zoro pulled out two of his swords, pointing at Beijing. They're already could kill Beijing easily. Beijing ready cannons, the cannons fire, and Luffy swiped them all off of Zoro in a split second before they even got bigger. And Beijing thought Luffy stopped them away until they all slammed into Beijing as they got bigger and totally blew up on him. But then Beijing thrown back down onto his own ship as he's basically naked and completely burned to a crisp. He tells Big Mom what happened, and Big Mom realizes that Sanji and his whole crew regrouped too quickly. But Luffy then smirked, saying this is now a declaration of war. Even if Sanji's family wanted to get married, this is a declaration of war. Sanji realizes his crew is backing him now, is actually pretty confident, because Luffy's the Admiral candidate now, or not Admiral, a Yonko candidate now. He just laughs, just saying, well, how about this? Some of us will head to Whole Cake Island and defeat Big Mom, or at least under a message. Gets us up saying that he started a war with the Yonkos already. He's going to finish it now. Luffy snorted. Whole Cake Island, not Shinobi. Whole Cake Island group would be, well, same as in canon, but they have Kid and Killer. So, yeah. But as Killer tries to go, Zoro grabbed his shoulder, telling him, go with me and Law. We're going to teach you better forms of hockey. And one of the Land of Samurai should be the best place, or the Land of Blades. And Kid nodded to Killer, telling him, go. So, Killer went with Zoro and Kid. Not went with Zoro and Law. So, of this, the same crew had a Whole Cake Island, plus Kid. And they honestly completely dominate. Sanji went to his family oh, Sanji, you're here, even though we were told that you wouldn't come. Only Luffy walking behind him, and everyone just froze up immediately. Besides Reiju, who knows that Sanji likes her. So, Sanji immediately told Reiju to come over here, and Reiju did. Before Josh can say anything else, Luffy appeared in front of him, hitting him in the gut full force, making him cough up blood and pass out. There's some siblings. Sanji put his leg up, telling the three of them, come at me. They do, and Sanji beat all the siblings up, even all the clones up, telling him that it was that easy. And this is why he wouldn't come. His siblings aren't strong, neither is Big Mom. And he just walks away. And Reiju also wasn't beaten up. She's fine, actually. But she's shocked that Sanji beat up all of her siblings. Including their dad. Well, Luffy beat their dad, but... Yeah. But after this, we go on to Luffy wanting to start war at Whole Cake Island, as him and Nami would fight against Cracker. Luffy did find it a bit hard to go through, to beat Cracker. But still, eventually, he realized that the patterns of soldiers, not even needing your forces to beat them. Also, he's avoiding all their attacks. And so he's using one jet whip coated in hockey, and that's enough to take them down with Nami pouring rain on them. And even with his features that you can find out weak points or what he does wrong. So yeah, this point where he's one tapping every single Cracker soldier with not even using anything but Gear Second. But then eventually, it's him versus Cracker, and Cracker's easily beaten by Luffy. Luffy just jump over him, put him in a chokehold, and just chokes him out. So yeah. But in Cracker Soldier, he needs to, he can just make float. So yeah, that's just what you can do. Just appear behind them all. They all fly in the air, slam into Cracker. And Cracker tries to back up. Luffy just slams all this floating Cracker Soldier into him, kind of destroying most of his body. Not destroying it, but just breaking most of it. But now Luffy wants to throw hands with Big Mom. So yeah, and so everything else feels pretty similar. Just Luffy's in hiding. Sanji is just making fun of the siblings, and yeah. And Reiju just hang out for a bit. But Steph is so curious about Luffy, about Sanji, How are you this strong and able to beat your siblings, even though you're not cyborg and they are? And he says, well, one, I worked hard and unlocked hockey. Only something that only strong pirates have. Like, for example, Big Mom. She's a hockey user. Judge ran tests on Sanji. I feel like Sanji had actually technology in him that's going to emerge, but he thought Sanji was going to emerge soon. He would just awaken it and make Sanji fully under his control. Mistake. Sanji doesn't have any of the side effects of his siblings at all. And he can't implement those because his technology was already in effect, just put back. So yeah, plus because of just what his mom did, well, a lot of his DNA, not DNA, I mean a lot of his cyborg cybernetics are they're effective and stronger than usual, but there's no command that the judge can give him that he can follow. So yeah, any side effects that the siblings have or the judge makes happen, Sanji doesn't have. He's basically just perfect. And then beats up his siblings and then beats up his dad in just anger that his dad made him this way, but realizes that he's not emotionless and that he doesn't have to follow orders, so he's completely happy again. So he's just chilling now. So yeah, Luffy had heard about what happened with Sanji, so did Nami, so did Brook, so did Kid. And then they started start a fight with Big Mom now. The wedding, they're not at the wedding, they started to invade the castle at night, but they made sure to get pudding out. Before Luffy and Kid got to Big Mom, Luffy was met by Katakuri, but Kid said he'll fight Katakuri himself. It's really like Kid and Katakuri are basically just equals at this point. They're perfect equals. Law's a bit stronger than Katakuri, but like barely stronger than Katakuri. And Kid basically been such equals as the lack of basically Katakuri's future sight is met by Kid's good armament hockey. So yeah, his versatility in armament hockey kind of puts him on the same tier as Katakuri. So yeah, and Conqueror's hockey does too. Their Conqueror's hockey is equal, like how it is, like equal Conquerors. Katakuri gets observation, Katakuri gets observation, and Kid gets armament hockey. It's kind of how it is for them both. Yeah. And with this, Kid had beaten Katakuri, but barely. So, yeah. Only beat him because he used Katakuri's own spear against him and stabbed him right in the chest. Didn't kill him, but he's bleeding out. So, yeah. While then Luffy proceeds to basically fight Big Mom and be able to evade all of her attacks and actually fight Big Mom. And in the fight, he unlocked Ryuo and hit her so hard that she got him flying through Whole Cake Chateau. But then Luffy dashed around Whole Cake Chateau, making everything float, or making everything under his possession. When she got close to him, Luffy just kind of, made all the stuff around her, float her in the air, and slam her straight into the ocean. And hold her down, too. Because it was so far away, he eventually had lost control, but her kids are not struggling to get her out of the water, because when they can't swim are pretty young, and, there's just a few soldiers, homies that can get her out of the water, too, but barely. They would bring her ashore, but she's nearly drowned and is too tired to recover all of her energy this instant. Well, in the meantime, Luffy just went gear 4th, he used like a King Kong Gatling, and they're all coding Ryuo and slam into Big Mom over and over again. Actually, nonetheless, a red rock should solve it, actually. Just one red rock landing in Big Mom, making a giant crater and some smoke cloud, had knocked her out with how low energy she had and how low she couldn't do anything else to defend herself. Morgan recognized this, but in everyone else's eyes, Luffy had beaten Big Mom. So yeah, Luffy's bounty isn't raised too high, but now his bounty after Whole Cake Island is around 3.2 billion. So, yeah. So Luffy kind of just laughs out that he beat Big Mom, and says that she was his strongest opponent yet, besides, Kizaru, but, yeah. But Luffy tells Big Mom that Kizaru was a stronger opponent than her, but she was still one of the hardest ones that ends in a long fight. Now they all head to Wano, where nothing much is different, actually, just Luffy isn't imprisoned by Kaido. Instead, he's been trying to get Ryuo, and is about as strong as he is, actually a bit stronger than he is in Wano, or in Onigashima. He's stronger than he is in Onigashima until his awakening of Gear 5th. But Luffy and Kaido fight. Kaido's being pressed by Luffy, then with Along Kid also training a bit more, and Killer, and Zoro. Well, they're all stronger, they're both stronger, all 4 of them are stronger too. Zoro and Killer can use Ryuo on a pretty good scale. So, yeah. Kaido's just being pressed by these, Luffy, Law, Kid, Killer, Zoro, by these 5 insanely hard. Within the Straw Hats are with them as well, so is Story Kid and Killer's crew. Kid and Law's crew are with them as well. So these monsters are just basically pressing Kaido to the point where Kaido would almost lose, until he used Homicidal Drunk and beat them all. But because Luffy basically had his fruit for a long time and always trains with them, just to enhance them via just, common sense and, weather as well. Weather's a big factor for his float fruit. Well, not weather, science in general is. Well, I'm pretty sure weather is a form of science, so science and weather play a big part, or well, science. But yeah, but Luffy had also studied a bit of science to help his own devil fruit, and eventually it led on to basically him awakening both fruits simultaneously in the middle of a fight with Kaido. Which led him to actually will use his awakening abilities in tandem, and basically to make everything around him float, as long as there's no civilians in it. Then have those distract Kaido, while his Gear 5th form basically completely obliterate Kaido. Long Kid used their same awakenings before Big Mom had even arrived, and these three all defeat Kaido without them needing to basically, without Luffy needing to use that one final attack that sent Kaido deep underground. Instead, Law destroys his insides. Law destroys his insides. Kaido has his defense basically just almost destroyed by Kid, and Luffy basically destroys both by just using his stronger form. And with this, they also have Zoro and Kid by their side. Zoro and Killer, I mean. So these two, they didn't do too much. It's a lot. Zoro doesn't have Enma, and Killer's Killer. So, yeah. But still, Kaido's defeated. And with this, everyone just sees Kaido fully defeated. Next stop, Orochi. Yeah, Luffy kind of had Law and Kid bring him to Onigashima unconscious. They did just that, and as soon as King and Queen are to fight them, they both immediately just are taken down by these two monsters, and then they basically destroy Onigashima itself. And the way Law did it, Law honestly just kind of made Onigashima float away. When Kaido were woken up, they're in the middle of the ocean, far away from Wano, far away from it. Like they're leaving Wano, heading towards Whole Cake Island. So yeah, eventually Big Mom woken up, so did Kaido, and she wakes up to see Kaido on the shore of Whole Cake Chateau. So yeah, she's asking how come up with Kaido, and he's like, "Oh, Luffy, Law, and Kid beat me." I was like, "Really? Those chumps beat you?" He's like, "They use their awakening abilities on me. Law destroyed my insides. I cannot move." So yeah, Big Mom heard how brutally they beat Kaido, and she's like, "Oh, so she doesn't know that she would have lost too. She knows it." So yeah. But then Kaido decided to tell her the story of Joy Boy, and then the abilities of Luffy, asking her if she sees the connection. She did. So she realized that Luffy was a god. And flow through honestly just established him as more of a god as he could fly and control anything around him as his own whim and turn it into rubber too. So yeah. But now Ross in the meantime took on Orochi. Momosuke was aged up by Shinobu, and he became the Shogun of Wano. In the meantime, Zoro got Enma. Yamato was freed by Law, actually. She said that she was a friend of Ace. Ace confirmed it. They kind of released her handcuffs, but gave her different ones that were made of sea stone. They gave her sea stone handcuffs that didn't explode. Until Ace confirmed that he was her friend. But Ace and Marco come to Wano just for the sake of it. They visit Odin's grave. Everything. Yeah. Now with this, Luffy invites them to join his crew. They accept. But they hang out in Wano for a bit, and they leave before any admiral can arrive in Wano. So, yeah, by the time Green Bull arrives in Wano, Momosuke's like, "Oh yeah, the Stars already left a long time ago." Plus, they have Marco and Ace on their crew now, so even if you were to catch them, you'd lose. So yeah. In the meantime, Luffy, Kid, Killer, the whole crew would have an Elbaf. So Luffy's crew, Kid's crew, and Law's crew all had an Elbaf. They trained there for a bit. They meet with Shanks. And Kid wanted to fight Shanks, saying he had a war with every Yonko besides you, so he wants to fight him. They fight, and Kid lost, of course, but still was a pretty hard fight for Shanks. And yeah, and they kind of spent time perfecting their new forms of hockey. Zoro had learned Kongasaki coding specifically from Shanks, so yeah. I think Shanks was a swordsman, so Zoro. And then, he looked at me and was like, Shank's like, "Oh, you're like a younger Mihawk. You're stronger than he was young when he's younger too." But the only reason you lose is because that monster always trains. So, yeah. But eventually we do go on to, I would say, maybe, rather than leaving Elbaf, they met Hyrule there, and having that Bartolomeo was there just visiting Hyrule. But now Luffy decided to head to the Pirate Paradise, hearing that was basically the stop of Blackbeard. Because he wanted revenge after hearing what Blackbeard did to Whitebeard. It's how he ambushed him, stabbing him in the face over and over again. But yeah. So Luffy arrives at the Pirate Paradise, only you see Moria. But Luffy kind of just said that Moria wasn't really anyone important, and well, had his ship, Frankie piloting it, of course. But also Usopp on there as well with Nami, and they all just use like one command attack to completely just decimate the Pirate Paradise or anyone on it. So Moria is just defeated by that one same blast, and it just hates it. He thinks that Luffy's saying, "Your ship's so fucking annoying," as he just mumbles this. Luffy just laughs, saying, "Yeah, I know. The Marines hate it too. But I can also do something else. Something throw their barks in the air, or whatever Moria used to get to the Pirate Paradise." Luffy says, "Alright, well, where's Blackbeard?" Moria told Luffy to check the main base. Luffy does, finding a note for him. And as Luffy reading the note, Luffy slams down Moria's ship onto him directly, killing him. So yeah, Moria's dead. Yeah. Now as he leaves, telling them that these are directions to Lodestar. Blackbeard says he can't find the way properly, but when he need him meet up, we should get there at the same time. And he tells me this is going to be war for the One Piece. All Strats nod, so do Kid and Lost Crew, and then they get straight over to Lodestar. They're at the same time as Blackbeard, and they're ready to throw hands. But Ace jumped in wanting to throw hands first. Ace lost, and Marco was with Ace, but still they both lost. When Luffy and Blackbeard fight, and they seem more like equals, even with Blackbeard going all out with his quick fruit. But Luffy awakened both of the fruits at the same time, and well, he matched both those awakenings, and because he had two Delvers that were perfectly awakened, and he knows studies perfectly, science of course. Well, he easily defeated Blackbeard. It wasn't really a fight for him, really. And Blackbeard's annoyed because Luffy's a perfect Delver user, perfect example of a Delver user. And Luffy's like, well, they call me the Sun God, but I prefer the God of the Sky at this point, as I kind of own it, of how much I fly around, and just how strong I am. So yeah. Plus, even if Blackbeard were to use like Black Hole on Luffy can just he literally glides. He doesn't sit on the ground most of the time. He doesn't walk most of the time, actually. It's kind of just how it is. He doesn't really walk around. He just glides. Or if he does walk, his tip of sandal is on the ground the most of the time. That's how it is. But yeah. With this, next up, well, they find the One Piece, they claim it, and well, they get told by Sabo that the battle happened, and they thought he'd win really until he took the news after the events of the finding One Piece. But take the heat off Sabo and actually have the Marines come towards him to actually flee Rijwa. He made an announcement basically about like how he found the One Piece and how any Marine can come fight him to come claim it. He said that happened a long time, so this has to be real to every single Marine. Naki Inu, Kizaru, Waki Inu, Kuzan, Sengoku, and Garp both want to run the ones again for a rematch. Aki Inu wants to run the ones with these three supernovas because they clowned him, really. That's all it is. But because Luffy found Luffy on the One Piece, his bounty is 5.8 billion. Or if it's real and if they get there and it's real, his bounty will be raised to 5.8 billion. I mean, so yeah. Luffy kept making announcements about it, and eventually all the heat gave him a bounty of 5.8 billion. So he currently has the highest bounty ever recorded. Then, well, basically the full force of the Marines arrive. It's taking the heat off of, well, the current captives at Rijwa, and they escape. So yeah. So I heard about all the news, wasn't Luffy did that just so he could escape. And now Luffy and all Strats, just because Vera was mentioned recently, they're on Vera just fighting the whole force of the Marines. Like, basically the world government itself, not just the Marines, the world government. And they easily just decimate them. But Big Mom and Kaido arrive, wanting the One Piece. And Blackbeard came back not knowing what One Piece was, and he wants a rematch. So 3 Yonko. 3 Yonko. 2 Admirals. Actually, no. Well, a Fleet Admiral. 3 Admirals. 2 of the strongest people that ever exist. 1 comparing to Roger. Well, because he's older, I assume he got weaker, as he said so before as well at Water 7. Someone who was very close to Roger, still very close to Roger, how close he was to Roger. Yeah, they're all just ready to run the ones with Luffy. The world government and the pirates fight, but then the pirates and the world government fight at the same time. Like basically pirates versus pirates, world government versus pirates. But the pirates are killing themselves and they're killing the world government. But Luffy was confronted by Garp and Sengoku. Sengoku just tells Garp that, don't think of this as a fight, think of this as more like a challenge. think of it as like you fighting your rival. As this goes as the Garp, like that's what I tend to do. So Luffy fights Sengoku and Garp, and they both curse Sengoku sent flying straight through the air. They came to using the shockwave. Well, Sai and Danjiro were actually able to help Luffy with that. They both kind of slammed down their attacks on Sengoku's fist. Luffy didn't realize his fleet followed him to Vira. Sengoku's whole attack is basically stopped by both of them combining their own attack. Then Luffy just red rocks Sengoku straight into the ocean. And Luffy flew down towards Garp, picking him up and flying him straight to the ground, just diving him through it. Using multiple buildings to slam on top of him over and over again until he's pinned down under the pavement. So yeah, with this Law and Kid fighting against Kaido and Big Mom individually, and they beat them both individually. But yeah, next up I could think is probably going to be like Kizu's wanting to fight Marco again. He fights against Marco and Ace, and they both beat him. Kuzan is just there for Blackbeard, I'd say, as well, probably like as a spy for Blackbeard, but Blackbeard defeats him. Not Blackbeard. Kuzan would fight against Blackbeard. Blackbeard probably just wins, but well, I guess like Zoro or someone coming in after like beating Shiryu to help, or Fujitora really. So if Fujitora defeated, Zoro came in clutch and landed a final blow on Blackbeard. So yeah, and with this, everyone else joins in. And Katakuri had to switch up on Big Mom's crew, defeating a majority of them. And, well, this kind of just ends the giant war for the One Piece. With Luffy's crew winning, and Luffy's allies and his crew winning. So, yeah. Luffy's final bounty, well over 10 billion. I'll say that right now. But yeah, so with this, Straw Hats, well, their journey's kind of over now. So, yeah. So with this, we can probably just end this what if here. But the backstory: Luffy knows Hancock loves him, so he marries her. Sanji married Pudding. Frankie married Robin. Nami married like fucking someone. Who cares? I don't know. But with this, we can write in the story here now, though. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe for another what if. Adios.